Hello, Frenzynauts. Holy moly, here we are.
Yes, we are. And
Episode
if you guys,
56.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say if everybody noticed that Tits McGee's not here, we apologize, but they'll be back next week.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Sorry,
okay.
Tits McGee.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Okay, yourself.
Doing good.
I'm trying to
Like,
muster
I
up
just
some energy. It's been a long friggin' day.
I love the fact that I just stay quiet for that now, specifically so I can hear Bobby say, okay, and yourself.
Yeah. Okay, and yourself. We're gonna make t-shirts, the Bobby Frenzy t-shirts are gonna say okay and yourself on the back.
There you go.
The official greeting of Toy Frenzy. Okay, and yourself?
I've been saying that for years, so it fits me. So
It's good. It's catching on.
yeah.
It is. It's making a statement.
That's right. Everybody, we're really excited about tonight because we got the full team here. We got Shawn, Adam, Bobby, Oz, and me, and we're all here ready to complain.
That's right. Everybody shows up for the bitch fest.
Everyone, right? It's like, that's what we're doing.
Changing formats.
Right? None of this positive shit. I'm gonna dump on everything.
Our ratings are low, so we have to change it to get a little more exciting.
the network
we got the
called
final
us and
numbers
said,
in.
Yeah. What do they call it when a network offers suggestions? Feedback. We got feedback from the network, and they said you guys got to get a little more negative. You got to be a little bit more Bert rather than Ernie. And
they suggested some spicy food challenges on the show as well.
I'm down.
Yeah,
we got this.
We got our hot wings and our
jalapenos, one chip challenge shit. I got it all.
Yeah,
let's do this. I might break a sweat.
One chip challenge. What's that?
It's where they've got like those chips that like have, I don't know. They've reinvented that one chip like 30-40 times where they just keep making it hotter and hotter and hotter,
like the ghost pepper style and all that
crap. And honestly, like I eat a lot of that shit and it doesn't bother me.
I can't handle that stuff, so.
Yeah, once I turned 42 it all changed. Like all that stuff started to bother me, and I used to eat all the spicy stuff, and Oz, it's the changes are coming.
Cinnamon is the hottest thing.
Oh, really, Adam?
Yeah, I was super like I couldn't tolerate spicy stuff until I was about 40, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get enough of it.
Well, you didn't abuse your body all those years.
That's true. Yeah,
because you were avoiding it, and then see what happened is for me is I just abused my body with all this spicy food, and then now I got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, my stomach can't handle it. It never did, so that's why I never eat it.
Oh man, there's a kind of euphoria that occurs when you're eating spicy food that it kind of becomes a little bit addicting.
It is. It's the spiciness and the agitation that it causes releases endorphins in your system so that you feel better as opposed to hurting because of the pain the spiciness is causing. And your body, the more you eat, the bigger the tolerance you have. So the more of an endorphin rush you get, the more you eat. And it is this very big addiction that you can develop to spicy foods.
So, but if you don't have that available, all you got to do is just come here and stare at Shawn for a while, and that'll give you the endorphins you need.
So that'll drop your ratings to the bargain basement as well.
Not at all. That's not at all. Just by me doing that, we just like 14 people just joined it as I did that.
They
just
did.
Kidding.
It's true story.
True story.
I like to know Tits McGee's opinion about that too.
Yeah. Now, tell us, Bobby. Tell us about Tits McGee.
You ever see Anchorman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from that, I believe, isn't it?
Yep.
It's just a quick joke. That's all.
You had it on the teleprompter, and
They're supposed to announce that Tits McGee was going to be on the show. So
I love it. I gotta watch Anchorman again. I haven't seen Anchorman in years.
Yeah, because it was the first time I watched it. It was about a month ago, and it was like since I've seen it. So
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I almost pissed my pants. I was like,
it's fresh in your system right now.
Yeah. It's like Tits McGee. I was like, oh, shit.
Buttered sausage and Tits McGee.
Eating burritos backwards, baby.
That's right.
That's how you become a guru.
Mm.
You know, drinking coffee, as the prophet Gary Busey says, is a spiritual experience.
So when you eat a burrito backwards, are you eating the cold side? Because by the time you get to that side, it's cold. So is it already cold when you started from the other side?
You're preempting the cold.
Yeah.
You're addressing the cold before you get there.
Right. Yeah. So it goes cold to warm now if you eat it backwards.
And
You're cold. I look forward to eating you first. Signed Tits McGee.
That's going to be on the back of Shawn's t-shirt.
Yes. Hashtag Tits McGee. Put me and another bald guy together, you got a nice set right there.
There you go.
Oh,
At least
So we
we
got
have
3
my
of them.
tits.
Yeah.
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 This is like
on Total Recall. That's
Yeah,
what
that's what I was
it
to say. The
There
one
we go.
I mean, this is like American, male pattern baldness. You
Yes.
know, 3 of 5 men.
Bobby and I are over here on this side now.
That's right.
Yeah.
The hair
You
side.
guys keep running away from it.
Keep running.
I don't think it'll ever catch up to me. So
I've got Armenian genes and
I got Levi's.
I was just gonna try and make it. You beat me to it. I was gonna try and make a
gonna
joke.
go
Rocking
there.
some Wranglers.
Dad jokes.
Pop actor says we have to shave our heads. That's
right. Complaint
his,
department.
His complaint. His complaint.
He
today.
can keep complaining because it ain't gonna happen.
Oh man, I love shaving my head. It's
Well,
the
you've
greatest
already
feeling.
done it before.
Yeah, I love the feeling, man.
I
It's
can't come
very
to it. I
euphoric.
can't do it.
But honestly, it's like I don't know. It's grass is always greener. When my head is shaved, I love it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I should get the hair back here. And then when I have the hair back, I wish I had it shaved again. And I know that's it's like first world
Yeah, I was
hair
just gonna say.
problems,
It's,
hair problems.
Well, you got hair all over you now. It's all over
I
your
know.
face, and
You know,
You just wait. In a year, I'll be cousin it.
yeah.
you enjoy it, and I'm glad you guys have it, because I can't necessarily speak for Shawn and Adam, but I know that this is not exactly a choice.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I kind of felt like shitty shaving my head when I have friends, and you guys too probably shave because there's some baldness happening, and I'm like, what am I doing? I have this hair here. It's kind of an awful situation. Men are sensitive, right? We
Yes.
got to be
So
careful.
sensitive.
Men
That's
are
right.
sensitive. We got to be careful of each other's feelings.
Yeah. One of these days, I'll do the kingpin kind of long comb over.
Yeah.
Right?
Get it
Yeah.
covered that way.
I mean, I could definitely do that, but I don't know. It's easier to shave it. That's too much work.
I think you should do this.
You know,
The beard out the nose.
not quite
Wasn't that in
there,
a movie or
but I
something, or
would do
someone
that.
did something like that?
That
They had a
sounds
style where
right.
they showed or cartoon or something. They put the beard up, and oh man, that was funny.
It's
Sounds
like
like
out
a
of
cartoons.
maybe
We'll see.
out of Baron Munchausen or something. I don't know
Yeah.
why that sounds like.
I mean,
I
if
don't
the
know.
mustache were long enough, I would definitely curl it up like over top.
You go
At least to the
connect it to your
eyebrows.
Yeah.
At least to the
Yeah,
eyebrows.
like handles on your face.
Yeah.
We'll get it there. We'll get it there.
Everybody in the chat is wondering, when do the complaints begin?
We're
We've
bitching
already
about
been complaining
baldness,
about-
people.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I thought we
about
were
hair.
celebrating men. I thought that's what we were doing
oh,
right now.
Shit. Damn, I fucked that up.
Celebrating men.
celebrating men and manhood and
Celebrating man.
hair and not
Razors,
hair.
beard, and armpit odor.
That's
That's
right.
right, folks.
Do I offend?
Oh, anyway.
All right. Well, I guess, should we get started with the chat? And then I got a nice Bud intro to run through.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
jump into this.
Speaking of Bud intro, first one in tonight, my buddies Customs. Good to see you here, brother. And John, fresh out of the ER today, man. He had himself quite the experience. John, hope you're doing well, brother, and a quick, speedy recovery.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that in the chat. I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
you have to scroll back.
Okay.
But yeah, it's yeah. I hope you're doing okay, John.
Yeah, same here.
I hope you're getting that taken care of.
He's taking a good natured. He says he's ready for Halloween now.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Cobweb
Halloween every day.
That's true, man. That's the best holiday ever.
Mm-hmm.
We got
Cobweb.
Again.
Sorry, us.
1, 2, 3.
Cobweb.
You? Oh, see, I moved on to the next.
Oh.
Henry in the chat. Thanos is here. Ronald Embry, K. Roll joining us this evening in talking. We got Joe Gonzalez with us. We got Pop Actor bitching and complaining.
He's complaining that it's 9:35. Not
Man.
anymore, so he should be okay.
You're good. We passed that point. It's all right, Pop Actor.
9:35 is gone.
Duchess of Darkness is here with us as well. And let's see. Going through in talking. Oh, watch out for this shady guy out there. Battle Ram blog joining us. And let's see. We got Dawning of the Decade with us here as well. We've got JMac77 in the house. Good to see you, JMac. Alphin Flick as well. And continuing to scroll. So much in chat. We have Christina in the chat with us, joining us. Good to have you here. And still looking so much in talking. Everybody's so happy saying hello to everybody. God, man. Well, we're going to fuck up your mood.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's cancel tonight's show.
Eternity Lips in the house. There we go. That'll work. Cancel the show. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Y'all here for nothing.
You're all so happy. We don't want to dampen anybody's mood. So
I don't think we'll be that negative.
I've got a monologue planned.
Oh, you do?
Oh, nice, tasty, spicy.
I don't have anything, so
All music fan joining us this evening. We've got Masterversal Toy Hunter and Eldor. As a matter of fact, Skele just joined him this past Friday. If you guys have not watched that, go back and watch the replay. Really awesome watching them on.
Yeah, that was a fun conversation.
Almost a week ago already.
Ah, guys,
this week was gone by. This month's going by fast.
It is. It better slow down, man. I like to enjoy the build up to Halloween.
Yeah. Before you know it's October already, and it's like, holy shit.
I want it to go by fast. I'm ready for the weather to change. I'm ready for. It's not changing enough over here yet.
No, it's gotten cool here. Like the last 2 days have been really cool. Like at night once the sun goes down.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm jealous.
Thanos is joining it. Nah, don't.
Because if you lived in it, you wouldn't be jealous.
I mean, I prefer it. I love it when it happens.
Well, yeah, but I mean, then winter comes. Well, being from Chicago, it gets really, really, really cold. So
yeah. You guys are a bit further north.
This is just a warm up for tonight because, like, every opinion or every situation has a counter opinion and counter situation.
Sure.
Hair, no hair, warm, cold. Snake layer battle, whatever. It's like everybody's got there's always a perspective.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Do you like the peanut butter on top or do you like the jelly on top?
Cats and dogs living together.
Kids walking on my lawn.
Yeah, right?
Sons of bitches. Kids, get off my grass. Old men obsessed with their grass.
Speaking Moistly's here.
Speaking Moistly has joined us as well this evening.
I like that we're having a looser conversation. This is more fun.
It always is. Yeah, too much structure can get a little old and burnt.
Yeah.
A little bit. We gotta loosen it up every once in a while. Spread our wings and just fly free balling.
Air out the crotch.
Right. Bobby knew where I was going with it. Good job, man. All right, so that was about it for the chat. Got us caught up. Everybody's here joining us. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Let's get to this Bud intro. We'll get this knocked out of the way. Take a sip of my drink.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Get your Toy Frenzy pint glasses today, folks.
That's right.
Right down below.
Don't forget the Frenzy needs you. You can pick up your t-shirt at the link below.
Water never tasted so good as it does tonight in this Toy Frenzy pint glass.
I mean, you can't get a frenzy in a glass anywhere else.
We're just gonna. Oz and I are just gonna keep going back and forth and creating commercials for you guys tonight.
Why not? You know,
We
it's
need
fun.
we need bath towels. We need
But
Yeah, we
toilet
do.
paper.
Definitely
Skelly.
the toilet paper.
Skelly, where can I get a Toy Frenzy pint glass?
Why, Adam, head right downstairs to the Spring store through Skelevator's channel, and you'll find all kinds of options for you down there, where you can get a bunch of stuff down there.
Remind me, I got to put that on my link tree so I can link all that together for everything.
That's right, Bobby. Make sure you put that in your link tree.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, thanks.
And you know
Back
what?
to you,
For
Oz.
I'm going to say, for you folks too lazy to go click on the description of the video, here is the really long URL.
It's a really long URL.
Is it really?
I need
It's
to
a
do it.
freaking paragraph.
No, I need you to speak it out, character by character.
I don't know why this is. I don't know why I haven't gone and created one of those like abbreviated
Tiny
URLs. Yeah,
Wow.
tiny URLs.
That's massive.
That's not even the whole thing.
That's what she
It
said.
continues down below. Down below.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've realized now that I dropped it in there and it actually takes up to.
Wow.
That's so funny.
Wow.
All right, folks, look, if you were lazy before, don't copy and paste twice. Just go click in the description, check out the merch.
That's right.
This URL is the same. It's the same length as the spaceship at the beginning of Spaceballs.
Yeah, it's like
True
War and
story.
Peace.
It's
That
War and
URL
Peace.
actually has made up letters that aren't even in our alphabet.
Oh, yeah,
Insane.
they definitely do that.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Well,
Puts
Oz knows the
DZ
trillion
actually
words,
in
so he should be able to read all
That's
that.
It's
Mhm.
true
how you-
story. I got it.
You curse in Polish. That's a Polish curse word right there.
Yeah.
Right?
That's one word.
It's like I need
Yeah.
That's
But
Polish
we've
for you
got-
son of a bitch.
All kinds of great merch
It is.
on the merch store.
It's the only thing I know in Polish. Because my grandmother used to say it.
Good.
Wyszolte tu suka.
It's like, how do you watch it too?
We just
That's
got-
awesome.
I was going to say, I just made a whole bunch of Russian people really mad for our big Russian audience out there.
Oh
Why
yeah,
are they
Russia.
Russian too?
Thank you for tuning in.
We appreciate you.
Go rush back.
All right, guys. Good evening, Frenzynauts, and welcome back to not episode 100 of Toy Frenzy, the captivating toy and Motu live show where we tickle your nostalgic funny bone and totally not make you want to buy more toys. We welcome all our Skelevaderites, Ozholes, Bobby's Blushers, Skavarniacs, and Battle Rammers. Now, on to the men of the hour. Shouting from up high, it's the spirit that haunts your Snake Mountain. It's Skelevader! Rounding out the Eternian Guard army, it's the bald and
Jesus.
beautiful, it's the multiversal collab known as Ostradamus Toys.
I'm 2 for 2.
New
with that
name,
one.
who's this? A little spit shine and some Vicks Vapor Rub. Put your hot dogs together for Big D Bobby Bang. Bobby Dangerously. Our very own beautiful blushing Bobby Danger, the thesaurus and king of synonyms.
That was once.
Spinning his sign on the street corner and shaking his booty. It's the most compelling man in the Motu community. Everyone's favorite funny. It's Shawn Scavarda. Ripping the roads and maybe upgrading those tires to a new attack track. It's the most honorable sheriff in all Eternia. It's Battle Ram Blogs Adam.
Chicago area, they're going to rip up roads.
Yeah.
About time for some
Right?
good things.
every day they're ripping up
Yeah,
roads.
pretty much.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Got to spend
Seriously.
them tax dollars.
I've actually
Yep.
seen them when they were
Yep.
out there working in front of an AT&T office. They were road working. They actually took computers and crushed them into the ground. It makes me wonder
Seriously?
what the hell those computers
What
had
else
on
is
them
on
that the government
Yeah.
Oh,
they
yeah.
get them crushed up and put into the street.
That's intriguing.
Wow.
Me and my work partner were standing there, we're watching, we're like, those are computers. Like, what the hell are they doing? And you see them crushing them and putting them into the ground. I'm like, wow.
That's so weird
Amazing.
because plastic.
It's weird.
The plastic will disintegrate, and what kind of like what are they planning? They're using
I
it
don't
as
know.
like that's weird.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
It's in a bad
strange.
neighborhood too, so it's just hidden. Just it's out there. And it's like, yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
You heard it here, folks.
there's something
Aliens are among
strange
us.
Something.
going on in the streets of Chicago.
I think it's more shady
literally.
deals that needed to be hidden.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Probably.
You know, me and Ziggy had this joke because there's this one section, there's this intersection, Hartford Road and Joppa, where it seems that they've been doing never-ending construction there for the past 40 years, like the entire time I've been alive. Like they start off on one side and it moves around to the other and up to the other side and back around. And then by the time they make that circle, now they got to go back to the one side, and they keep doing it over and over again. We've determined that it's actually a sinkhole that they, and when I say this, I mean it in a financial way, that they're using it to launder money through the city because Baltimore is extremely corrupt. So they just keep continuously working this cycle around this one intersection so that they can keep having receipts to say, oh, this is what all that money is going to. Now, we came up with this theory like 6 months ago because we had noticed, like, since before COVID, like, there's never not been a season they weren't working on this section of road. And about 6 weeks after we had made this connection, suddenly they stopped working on that intersection. We were on to them.
You need to pull, what is that, Falling Down. And just walk up there with a grenade launcher and ask them why they're ripping up the road.
Oh, I love that movie.
There we go.
Love that movie. You know, you ever feel like Michael Douglas in Falling Down?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Feel more like him in Postal, but
yeah.
All
You're
right,
gonna all feel like that after tonight's complaint session.
It's true. It's true. It's gonna get the frenzy's gonna be all on tonight. All right, let's finish up these last few lines here, and then we'll get on with it. Where does he get all those wonderful toys? Everyone stand at attention for this week's special Patreon shout out. It's the Mr. Wonderful. If you would like an epic name and a shout out, then head on over to patreon.com and look up our boys here. You get access to Patreon exclusive IG group chat, Discord server. Join in on the after hour stream Saturday nights on Ostradamus Toys channel. Any content you make, whether it be YouTube, photos, art, etc., can have it be shared on the Toy Frenzy IG page ran by our own Bobby Danger. You also get to be part of the Random Acts of Kindness group that gives back to the community. By signing up for Skelevator's Patreon, you get early access to his hit podcast, Cambridge and with Shawn, before it hits the YouTubes. You also get a Toy Frenzy sticker you can place anywhere to make it instantly cool, and it increases its monetary value. But that's not all. Skelevator will paint you a pretty picture of any figure or character of your choosing, or he will randomly pick one. I got Beastman for a random pick, and it's awesome. It was Bud that wrote this, guys. I didn't get Beastman. I got King Hiss. All your support goes back into the show and allows us to do giveaways, pays for Streamlabs or StreamYard, allows us to edit our intros and make amazing thumbnails. Does something irk you? Do you have a complaint that needs to be said? Well, your voice matters. We here at Toy Frenzy Sharing Circle welcome all and want to hear what bothers you. The only rules are wait your turn, be constructive, and speak clearly into the vintage Snake Mountain microphone. Skeletor. And remember, Bobby's face sucks and snake men rule. That is
What?
all. On to you, boys.
I don't get that last.
I don't get
Oh,
it.
that was from when Bobby said that the snake men suck the other week.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna be doing that again tonight.
Bud
I can't.
jumped in.
I was just joking around. I was just trying to be funny.
Bud jumped in later that night and said, "Your face sucks, Bobby."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, was that hour 4, 5, or 6 when that happened?
Oh god, it was like insanely later, but that's because he was getting some sleep. So.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be bringing up the Snake Men tonight. At least I am.
Are you?
But there's a reason for that, and I do want to say, Bud's suggestion actually of people in the chat offering their complaints as we go along in our conversations. Great. You should definitely do that. We'd love to hear your responses to our complaints. And I also want to say that a complaint can change. I might have a feeling now that might change tomorrow. So, and also everybody's opinion matters. And that's really, I think the urgency, at least for us to have this conversation tonight, stems from the Eternia's Choice vote, and then I was thinking about it today. I was getting a little bit contemplative. I was like, well, how can we complain about having a choice, right? But we're going to talk about the choices, and therein lies some of the complaints, I think. But then it goes beyond that a little bit tonight. I think we're going to head into exciting territory. Right. And as Silver K said, hit that like button. There was one of these days I'm going to identify the one person that thumbs downs. There's one person out there that clicks a I don't like that every once in a while on.
I'm pretty sure we know who that is.
I want to find out who they are.
I can almost guarantee I know who that is.
I want to hear from them in the chat. What can we do for you? What can we do for you, my friend, to make you enjoy the frenzy more?
I was going to say, if it's who I think it is, they
kick me out and put them in instead.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Thanks.
That's not gonna happen.
Definitely not happening.
I swear it's got to be.
We can't provide the help that person needs. So,
before we jump into the complaint, dip into the complaint department, we did decide sort of to revise a part of this show. Used to be. What'd you get this week? And I think I really like Adam's idea of us changing that to what are you excited about this week?
I got something this week. Now we're gonna...
that's okay because that's what you're excited about this week.
That's that's the great thing about that concept is that we can be excited about something we don't have, or something that we could potentially have, or that we got. Or that we may never have. My thing I'm excited about today, I'll probably never get this thing, but
I have a couple of those.
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to talk about? What are you excited about this week? Who wants to go first?
Shawn?
I want Bobby to go first, but
Shawn was looking the other way, so he should.
Yeah, he's excited about something over there.
What you got over there, Shawn? What are you excited about?
What am I?
Come on, John.
I'm pretty excited for the Mondo Beastman when that pre-order hits. Now, whether or not I can do it, I don't know. But
when is that?
Since it is the possibilities and all that, that one's up there for me, especially with the Deluxe Skeletor pre-order happening recently, and to have him and Beastman. It's like peanut butter and jelly as far as I'm concerned. So.
Absolutely. Like, and I'm going to go even further and say, I would be perfectly happy just having those two Mondos.
Beastman's the peanut butter and Skeletor's the jelly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Peanut butter jelly.
The right colors.
Yep.
They are the right colors.
That's why
he's the grape jelly. Yeah. Skeletor's the grape jelly. Yeah, it works. Beautiful.
I'm a little slow today.
Today? That's my complaint.
Yeah. When is Skele going to speed up? Takes him a half
I always
hour
have to put words back into your mouth.
Yeah, it's a real problem. You should. My poor family, they have to endure these sentences that last 5 minutes.
That's why you got to get up and walk around the desk real quick, and then you go back and you'll be all right.
How to get one of those standing desks? I think that's what I need.
Yeah,
why don't you
that's
just
actually
stand?
if you work from home, getting a standing desk is
Yep.
All
I
you
should
would
too.
see is this giant, massive gut, which the standing desk would help. But if I stand now, it's going to be really pointless.
Well, you could show us. Standing now would show us what you're talking about.
But then when you stand, then you're going to bitch because not only you're going to need better shoes because your feet are going to hurt later.
Complaint department.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
True.
you can't get
Complaint
happy.
department.
So your knees, your feet will hurt if you sit down at your back. So what's the freaking
Something's
difference?
always wrong.
Oh no, I'm starting to think I'm like a murderer because I have all these little heads across my desk. Like I got all these little extra severed heads. So I got to do something to change this up.
So is that what you're excited about this week?
All the little heads on my desk? No. You know, honestly, what I'm really
Got some
excited
head?
about this week is not here yet, but I got my shipping notice for Lady Slither today, and I've seen a whole bunch of people have been getting their shipping notice for this one. So like Mattel is on point with it this time.
Nice.
And I am really, really glad to see so many people are going to be getting that getting Lady Slither like real soon. So
Yeah, I didn't order that, because I'm not getting any more stuff, but I did notice that it was still on sale for a little while. It didn't sell out right away. So that gives you kind of confidence that, later orders you should be able to get if you go early enough.
Yeah, they
I'm
might be
hoping
upping
so.
their numbers.
Yeah,
Hope so.
That's good.
because it's really not an exclusive anymore, right? It's just exclusive to the site,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, they're
they
just
have
all
to treat
there.
it a little differently than they did in the past, where this was an exclusive. This is more, this is the only place you can get it now instead of stores or whatever.
Yeah. But that's cool, Oz. So Lady Slither is on her way. She's slithering her way over to you.
When is that Mondo Beastman going on pre-sale?
It's supposed to be going on pre-order this month. I don't know when.
September. Okay.
Yeah, September is Beastman. From what I heard, and then November will be Panther.
Okay.
Oh man, that Panther too. Jeez.
Man, they just don't
Seriously,
let
guys.
up. If in a different world, right? Like Mondo's just doing some great stuff. And in fact, in an alternate dimension where there's no classics, and instead of classics, Mondo started releasing these things at a more affordable price.
maybe to the 7-inch
This would have
scale.
been, this would have been really like. It would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. I mean, it's amazing now, but just not everybody can afford them. They're.
Yeah, I'm struggling for that Beastman. I don't know if I can get that or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Because I even had to pass on that Phantom again today.
Yeah.
With the shipping and everything, it's like $40-something. I was like, I don't know if I want to get that, with that price.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It is. You got to really pick and choose what you want because even with this Lady Slither, she was a bit more than normal. Yeah, you get a lot more with the box. You do get an exclusive piece that's not available as a body part with others.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like if they're moving to a $35 price tag for some Origins figures, especially with some of the action features that we're gonna have coming up, like I can't hang with that range for Origins.
I mean, Mossman was really pricey.
Pushing it.
That's $40.
It's the same cost.
It was 40.
Yeah, he was 40.
I thought he was 30.
38 something.
Really?
Yeah, he's like $38.97 because Walmart does their weird pricing.
Yeah.
That was like his price tag, $38.97, which is the same cost that they were doing for Panther.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less flocking. Like, let's face it, there is not a whole. I mean, mind you, Skelly, I haven't actually even opened I unboxed him, pulled him out of the box you shipped him over in, but I didn't unbox him because I wanted you to be around when I do that.
Well, that's cool. We'll have to do a special.
We'll set it up.
But yeah, I mean, but also don't wait. He is a gorgeous figure. Don't get me wrong. Like $40 is a lot, but that is a gorgeous Origins figure.
Yeah.
But
see,
still.
Henry, you're saying it here too. Same as a flocked panther. How does a flocked panther with just a saddle cost the same as Beastman? Like, it don't make no damn sense.
They're both beautiful.
They are flocking beautiful.
Yeah, but I don't. It's like, do you? Some people out there might be selling off their collections to do Mondo. Like Shawn, are you getting rid of things in order to get more Mondo?
What I've been doing is typically like the Afterpay stuff to do it. So like depending which one that you go with, you can have it go for 6 months to almost a year to when the figure actually arrives, because a lot of these are within a year you get them in hand.
Oh, that would be better.
So
like
instead of the like I think Beastman's going to be around 275 or something. So like, you pay that off, $28 a month, or what, at $30 a month until you get the figure. That's worked out pretty well for me. My problem, and complaint, but this is on me, that isn't on any company, is there's so much stuff coming out that I've done Afterpays to keep up with.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the point of like, I need to just stop and calm down and get Afterpays under control a lot better. And that's kind of the the tug of war of collecting. You want the stuff so bad, and like I've seen people in groups where they're like, hey, can I get a battle cat for $500? It's been done. Like, why would you think you can just get a $500 battle cat anymore? Like that just, it doesn't compute in that way. So it's like, if you want it for the price that you feel is the best price, get in on it when you can somehow, either credit card, and I'm not saying go into debt on this stuff or whatever, but if it really matters to you, do it then, because otherwise you got the aftermarket prices, and those prices are not going to be any better. They're going to make it worse to make you want something like that.
So I just made up my mind. I can't get Beastman.
Yeah,
I can't get it because I got those Dick Tracy books coming out. They're starting to come out next month, and it goes all the way through January.
Well, and the art book comes out this month too, right? The Masters Universe art book. Doesn't
December, I think.
I pre-ordered that, but I canceled it. I'm not gonna get it.
Is that for Revelation, or what's the subject?
That's the Origins.
That's the
Origins
toys.
art.
Yeah.
The Origins one. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I canceled that a long time ago. I don't need it. I have all the other books, but I don't need it.
Right. And that's really part of it too, deciding, what you need.
I've been doing real good this year. Not buying anything.
I know, Bobby, man. You've been so celibate on collecting this year.
Yeah. I just need it. Like I said, I go through that a couple of years without buying stuff. I need breaks here and there.
So that brings us to you. What did you get?
Well, I finally did buy something though.
Good.
But we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago about figures out of cartoons that we would like to see. Yeah. So I did break down, and this has been out of print. I've been eyeing this for years. I finally got the Groovy Ghoulies DVD set.
Oh, nice.
It's the Filmation. It's the full series. Love it. I think it's 13 episodes. I think.
Dude, that's awesome, Bobby.
16 episodes. Sorry. Each case comes with one, like each picture.
Hold on, Bobby. Let me blow you up here.
That's awesome.
Don't blow me up. But...
No, we're blowing you up. Come on. Put it up there.
So can you see that?
Beautiful, yeah.
Off to the other side a little more.
How's that better?
Yeah, there we go.
Frankenstein.
Oh, man, those are great.
Yeah,
that is cool.
And then when you open, this is Filmation cartoons, so that's even better. Since
right.
Tied. But here's like the inside of the Dracula one. It's got like sketches of them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really see, that's what I liked about the old BCI. They did those with the He-Man, you know, where they came out with those collector cards inside of them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And BCI really did it, but then they went out of business, and all their, because they put out the what's it called too, the
That's great.
yeah, and it comes with a
I love
booklet
that.
as well. You know, a lot of DVDs don't come out with booklets anymore, but it's
Oh
got
yeah.
and it's got it tells you all about the cartoon and stuff.
That's
It's
great.
pretty cool. Yeah. See, that's what I liked about the BCI stuff. They really did good jobs because where's my Black Star? The Black Star is the same way, you know. You got the it's a nice case, but it opens up. But you got, you know, the nice little booklet, and then the DVDs are real cool looking, you know.
Yeah.
So they do a good job with it. But like the He-Man ones, they had all that art where it folds out. You know,
Yeah, that was an amazing set.
Well, they had those, and then like it had like the little postcards inside that were
Yep.
like, you know, the
Yeah.
actual art. That was my favorite part of those sets, was getting all those, and I had them all hung on the wall, but I didn't like tack them in.
Okay.
I put a tack like 2 underneath and then 2 on top to kind of hold it, but not actually punch through the card because they were so good. I wish I knew what happened to the box that I had all that stuff in, man, because I loved it.
Yeah, I still have them all those original sets.
They were
great
good
stuff. Yeah, they are awesome.
Those were the better sets too. They later did
Yeah.
like a complete series of like
Yes.
the 2000X, but it didn't have all the extras anymore. And they did something similar with the Filmation one where it didn't have all the extra. And I liked the extras.
I have the 2000X series too. It comes in 3 sets.
Yeah.
And it does the same thing with the cards and all that stuff. It's got all that in there. Yeah, those are cool too.
Yeah.
And it comes with a slip
had.
case.
Yep.
Like yeah, those are awesome.
God, it was so good. Yeah, because like the one Volume 1 was like He-Man and Castle Grayskull. Volume 2 was Skeletor and Snake Mountain.
Evil Lynn.
Yeah. The third one was the Snake Men and stuff. Yeah.
Snake Man. God, it was such a good, like a really, really good set.
Yeah, and mine comes in a box too. It's all 3 fit in this box.
Oh,
it was like
nice.
it was the what was it, the Best Buy exclusive version of it.
Nice.
I see, because I was buying the individuals from Walmart at the time, but they were like really good price too.
Yeah, they
to,
weren't
like,
expensive.
Seasons.
Now it's expensive.
Oh yeah, it's stupid.
Because all that out of print stuff is expensive. That was $60 for that Groovy Ghoulies thing. But I haven't bought anything in a long time, so I was like,
not only that, again, it's what you value it as. Is $60 worth it? 100%. But you know, somebody else maybe not so much.
Right.
And it's the gift that keeps on giving. Like you can put those 16 episodes on rotation all the month of October and just love every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie,
So,
what are you excited about?
Yeah.
Did you say Skelly?
I said Skelly.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did. I dropped your name.
We
sir.
lost them for a minute.
Pardon, young man. What?
I forgot my hearing aid.
I can't hear you. This is what I just think this is beautiful.
Yes.
This is like you know, there's Beastman and there's this. To me, that they're equivalent in beauty.
Same for me.
And I just, there are some things that are coming out right now that are just talking. I feel like they're talking directly to me. You know, those things that you feel like are talking directly to you.
Yes. Yep.
And the company is like, so Super 7 just, you know, picked up the rights to start doing Sesame Street stuff recently. And like, I just think this is beautiful.
It is.
Even the reaction figure images that they've got of these guys are gorgeous.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I'm more excited about the box, though. Look at that box.
Yeah, the box is extraordinary. So Shawn sent me an image not too long ago, and it just reminded me, oh yeah, that thing's coming out.
It's 18 inches too. That thing's huge.
18 inches tall. I think it's like $295
or
something like that.
Yeah, it's almost 300. Because I have an 18-inch Jason Voorhees, and I can imagine, and this thing's thicker than that.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how big this
Big
thing's going to
boy
look.
count.
The Count was one of my favorites. He is all, I mean, not was, is one of my favorites.
He's my favorite Muppet, or puppet, I should say.
Yeah.
Always has been.
And if they were to do the same thing with Bert and Ernie, because Bert and Ernie are two of my favorites too, that would just drive me nuts too. But
Rubber ducky.
You're the one.
I just think this guy's gorgeous. This is what I'm excited about. I'm excited that this is a possibility for some people.
Yeah, I wanted to get this when I saw that, and then when I saw the price, I'm like, holy shit! I was like, why does it have to be $300? And then I saw how big it was, but then you go with Super Price 7, and then it's just like,
this dialogue will never end. Like, why? Where is the value in Super 7? Why do they have to up those prices? And to me, it's like, here's the problem with Super 7 is if you buy a lot of Super 7. Yes. If you're that person out there that for the first time ever in your life, a Devo action figure is available to you, you're going to be really excited because you're going to be happy to spend that $20 on the Devo action figure because you've never had anything.
No,
like that
I understand that, but when you're like saying, well, I have to have the whole line, and you're spending $20 a figure,
that's the problem.
Really in deep.
That's the problem.
Crap, you know.
So
they did that with King Diamond. They came out with a King Diamond figure, and I was going to get it, but I was like, I couldn't spend the $40-something on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I just can't. You know,
that's the problem. If you're a collector of multiples of a thing of an IP, that can really become problematic. If you're a Disney collector, Super 7 is like gouging you right now.
Yes.
Because the Disney stuff that they're doing is freaking amazing. But you're paying for this unique item that you wouldn't get otherwise, really. And that's my argument in favor of their prices. But and then also, can I just also say that like Marvel Legends and Origins and Masterverse, these figures are all going up in price. And you just got to pick your poison. Like, and if you're gonna do like Shawn and invest in Mondo, that's pretty much, for most people, that's pretty much like where you're gonna stay, unless you have a lot of money, and some people do.
Yeah, and you can do a payment plan, right, on EE or anything like that for that.
I don't know. I didn't investigate it, but there probably is an option. Payment plans.
Yeah. A lot of sites now are they're hooking up with like Shop Pay or Afterpay or something one way or the other, because I think there's more people out there who would rather do that than have the credit card debt that they're getting into using, and so like even like if you go on Store Horseman, they have it set up that you can do a payment plan there too now. It's all over the place, and the one nice thing about it is there is no credit check. If they'll approve you, and they're not going to check your credit report at least, so it's not like it's hitting you, but there is an interest rate to what you're paying there too. So it's not like more. You're gonna like the interest rates on there usually are around 20-some%. So you are adding that into the price of what you're paying. But again, it's one of those, you pay it now and then you have 6 months to pay it off, and it's not like it's a constant, I still have a balance left. You just pay it all off and you're done, at least.
Because PayPal does that. I just forgot about that.
Yeah, PayPal. They're paying for
6 months. 6 months, no interest.
Yeah, that's that PayPal. Bobby. No, that's that PayPal credit. Be careful with that.
No, I know that's what I have, but I got a zero balance, and every time I've had it, I always paid it off.
Yeah.
No, good call.
If I went on, say I bought that, and I would have bought something else for $40, I would have 6 months to pay that off.
Yeah.
And I would make sure I paid that off. I wouldn't keep adding on to it.
Yeah. And that's where it gets dangerous, because it becomes so easy to just be like, you know what, I will pay it off eventually. So I'll just tack on another. I'll just get another 3 Origins figures and tack it on. And
so maybe I can get that count.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Yeah, I'd rather get that than Beastman, I think.
Really?
It's
you revised the collection, right?
they're like this. Some days I'm like
Mhm.
Count, some days I'm like Beastman, and it's like it's really tough.
Well, I mean, I'll have to see how much Beastman is too. I'll have to figure that out. Which one?
Yeah.
If they're both equivalent in price.
Some
I think
days
they're
I'm
pretty
like, can I
close.
get more snakes?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say Beastman might be less, but if shipping's included, if you add the shipping into it,
Yeah.
he might still be less, because if the price of the Count was, what was that again?
I think it's $300, like
300.
$299
So
or
then there's probably
$295.
shipping on top of that.
No, that'd be free
like,
EE though. Anything
So-
over $50, I think, is free shipping.
well, then you'd be
$295.
good to go through that at least.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
$295. I just saw it here.
See, like that was. I'm annoyed if I'm okay to throw in one of my complaints. I'm annoyed that now in my 40s is when all the cool Sesame Street stuff's coming out. When I would have wanted that when I was 3, 4, and 5 years old.
Yeah.
And Fisher Price only had the Muppet license.
Mhm.
So they made all those cool puppets for the Muppets, like the animal one we talked about on the one episode, which that really took me back. And all those little, they had the like 4-inch line that they did of the Muppets. But if they would have had a Count figure when I was a kid, my mom would have to pry me off the shelves of the toy store to get me out of there so that I wasn't screaming my head off, because the Count, and I'm just like Skeleton. The Count and Bert and Ernie were those were my triumvirate in Sesame Street. So anytime they showed up, I was always like, I paid close attention because those were my favorite puppets on the show. And
See, that's funny because I had puppets when I was a kid of the Count and Bert.
Really?
Yeah.
They had
big rubber heads.
Yep.
And they had like rubber hands, and they'd be real heavy. They just swing.
Oh,
but they're
never
really
had
cool.
those.
Yeah, they're old. They're from the
I'm
70s.
gonna. They did come out. They were like in 1975, I think, or something
Okay,
like that.
yeah, I had those.
Let me.
So
I
a
have
little
a picture.
before my time, I missed out on that because I was born in 78. So when I would have found out about it, it would have been like 81, 82.
Okay, yeah. So I'm 5 years older than you.
Yeah.
Then.
Shawn, you're gonna like this picture.
They're crazy looking too.
They are crazy looking. Oh,
but I remember them being heavy. It was hard to make them talk when I was a kid because my hands were small and I couldn't move their mouths too well because the rubber was so tight.
Yeah, there's a I went to, I don't know if you all watched that video where I delivered Snake Mountain to Manny, who commissioned it. I go to that store. I go to a toy store there, and they had a Bert puppet from 1975 or whatever, whenever it came out. But it was missing his hair, and I was like, Yeah. But let me pull this up here. I just got it over here. Oh, I gotta change it really quick. This is like I'm laughing because I'm not letting my friend play with his Bert puppet in this
They're
picture.
big and they were big too, if I recall.
Yeah, they are. Let's see here. Let me get it uploaded.
Because I know I had the 3.
I have pills to help with that.
Sorry, I was a little slow on the.
It's okay.
Yeah. All right, it's uploading. Here we go.
Yes.
Oh,
That's it.
That's awesome.
That's me with the cowboy hat, not letting my friend play with Bert.
Oh, you did?
I didn't have it. I'm stealing that from him.
That's
his. That's why he's sad. I'm like,
so
I want to play with it.
Skelly was a bully with a cowboy hat.
You know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Oh my
With
god.
those puppets. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
weird. They had the heavy hands that would just hang there. Yeah.
Yep. This is a really great image of that thing.
Yeah, that's pure. That's clean looking too.
And it was like brand new. And they were beautiful, and they had a really great. This is weird that I remember this, but they had a fantastic smell.
Yeah, it was the rubber.
That rubber smell.
It was real thick. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Real heavy rubber.
So I mean, Shawn, sometimes I go down the rabbit hole and I see perfectly good versions of these out there on eBay.
Oh, you do?
They are out there.
How much are they?
It's been a while since I've looked, but I think I've seen Bert and Ernie out there for about $40 each.
That's it.
But they weren't in great condition, so I would just,
Right.
you know, fans of Sesame Street, go cruising around, look into that stuff because it's out there.
If I'd gotten that as a kid, my mother wouldn't have seen my right or left hand for months.
Yeah,
it would have gone with me everywhere, and I would have just, you know, he would have talked to me anytime I wanted to talk to somebody. I would just use him.
And if you had Bert, both your hands forever, like just both your hands covered, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the only other one that would have been even bigger would have been Statler and Waldorf. If they made both of them, the hands would have been gone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's my guys. I'm good.
100%.
Like how everybody right now is Googling for Sesame Street puppets.
I know. I'm looking up on eBay to see if I can find the count one.
Yeah, so
I don't
you know
they're probably rare too.
And Shawn, the animal puppet, the Fisher Price animal puppet, that's always really pricey if it's in good condition.
So, my mom brought up I had Scooter from that line, and I also had a Gonzo, and Gonzo's actually here somewhere in here, but my son has commandeered Scooter, and now Scooter's his. And he actually took him to the grocery store with him the one day, and he actually held him by the hands and had him walk with us. So we had to pop him along with us while we were grocery shopping. And there's people looking at us, and I'm just like, "What? What? A kid can't walk his Muppet? Like, what the heck's wrong with you? Like, seriously."
The like legacy continues.
It's right. So it's so cool that he adopted it as his own, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that something I had that I loved when I was a kid, he's finding the same amount of entertainment out of it. So it couldn't have made me feel better to know that he's enjoying it too.
That's beautiful.
Kelly, I want you to shave your beard, get yourself a green jacket, and stuff. And I want you to go as Scooter for Halloween.
I basically am Scooter in personality and in looks.
You know what, Skelly? You could do a Jim Henson for Halloween too, just as you are.
Shoot, that's a great idea.
Just get you a puppet and oh man, that would work.
Just practice the voice. That's the only because he had that.
I can do that.
But what you could do is you could go as him as his puppet when he was in that Jug Band.
Yes, totally.
There you go.
Oh man, you guys!
There's a puppet that looks like him. It's in that Jug Band that he does.
Oh, but yeah, that's true. Bud sent some eBay stuff. All right. Well, we'll look at that. But we're ignoring Adam. Adam hasn't had a chance to talk about what he's excited about.
We're into the show for an hour, and Steve, he still has not gotten to say what he's excited about.
See, but isn't this great though? It's a great conversation.
It is. It is
going
fantastic.
by fast. Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. So not
Thanks,
new,
Adam,
but no problem. So I tend to fixate on things. So like my fixation right now is this classic Skeletor.
Yeah.
Like if you find the only thing about him was the face paint was sometimes a little inconsistent, but if you find one with decent face paint, just the sculpt and the shading on him, he's kind of the perfect figure in my opinion. He's just like he stepped off of the card back on those 8-back cards.
Yep,
absolutely.
So I've just been staring at him all week. As I'm working, I'll just take a minute just to enjoy Skeletor. He's just an amazing figure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He really is.
When I got into classics, I was debating: do I want to keep them on card or do I want to open them? And my son, when I got Skeletor was the second one I got because I got He-Man first. That's how it always is when I collect Masters for some reason. Yeah. And my son got Skeletor, and he didn't even take a moment. He just rips the thing open. Like, yes, I'm an open card, but loose figure collector now. And the minute I took a look at him out of the box, it was like a knee-jerk reaction. And the first thing I said is, "My God, you're beautiful." And I'm like, you said that not only did Skeletor, but a freaking toy. That is insane. But and that one put me over the moon on classics. And from that point on, I need to keep going with this line between him and He-Man. They knocked him out of the park as far as that was concerned.
Yeah, it's a work of art. It's perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it at all.
Yeah, it's one of those classics figures that I'm just like, wish I had gotten on board with that early on.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, I remember
It's
when
gonna
they
be
first started, and I just couldn't afford it at the time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to match that
There
figure.
we go.
But with
The
an
only
Alcala head,
Yeah.
The
Alcala
only
head,
thing
yeah.
I'd say is this makes it the best. That
Yeah.
alcohol head, they made it look so ghoulish and
Oh,
so
can I
spot
move?
on
Yeah,
from
thank you.
the mini comics. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
It's just a beautiful.
every time I see it
head.
with that, I'm like, and the thing is, even as a kid, it bugged me that his hood never connected to the armor, but like on the
Mhm.
cartoon and in the mini comics and everything, it was like, so this is the closest that they got it to work, and it's like that is how I want to view it. I don't want to see neck. Hood's perfect. That ghoulish face, the Alcala face, it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Skeletor.
Yep.
I mean,
Chef's
and
kiss.
if I was gonna pick an origin Skeletor to keep, it would be the one with the Alcala head sculpt. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, I like this one. I know
Oh, yeah,
Shawn
that's-
does. Shawn doesn't
That's
like
a-
the Filmation, but I like that.
That's a solid figure. I like that one too.
I don't see. That's the thing. I didn't mind. I thought that they did a really good job of capturing the Filmation. And the funny thing is, the Dooch on Legends of Grayskull, he's like, I hate those figures. I'm like, they came the closest, in my opinion, to looking Filmation, and he feels they've never been represented the way that they should be. And now he's all about the Origins line they're about to do with Filmation. And when I saw those, I'm like, they're good, but I still think Classics pulled it off better.
I
But
think
okay,
so too.
like
I
I'm
do.
not collecting it. I'm not worrying about that. But
Yeah.
I don't get it personally. I think that the one that Bobby has works beautifully.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I probably won't bother getting any of the Origins ones either. I'll get the Trap Jaw, but other than that,
Yeah.
I see those eyebrows.
It's like it's there are things that pop up almost on a daily basis now where it's like that's going to be cool, and damn you, it's like
Well, that's what the toys. They've been doing that for a few years now. Because I remember,
Yeah.
like back in the day, there was like toys were like nowhere. You couldn't get good ones.
I mean,
And now they're just like they're just grabbing onto everybody. They're just coming out with so much stuff. It's unbelievable.
It's if you listen back to Legends of Grayskull podcast toward the beginning, it's like there was nothing out there, and and then suddenly, boom! Like it's funny because you can listen to their podcast and re-experience the explosion of things, right?
When did it start? When did your podcast start, Shawn?
2020. It's been 4 years, so 2019.
Yeah,
I think it was
right at the beginning.
Beginning
right at the lull.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at the end of the lull.
It was
Yes,
right
Adam.
before everything started, like because we were doing it through the pandemic and all that stuff. But yeah, like what we started it off just going, let's talk about the episodes we love. Let's talk about the mini comics or the golden books. And like that was our through line, but then it's like there's so much new stuff we don't even get to those things right now.
Yeah,
because there's enough coming out. We just did a review the other week of the new Dark Horse miniseries come out, The Forge of Destiny. So it's like there's enough new things where we gotta keep up the pace with that now. It's pretty weird.
It's weird. It's kind of cool, but that leads us perfectly into our complaint department because there's so much stuff, and my biggest worry is that are we losing track? That's my biggest worry. Are we? I know this is not the case for everybody. For at least for me, I'm worried about the nostalgia aspect taking a back seat to new stuff that we haven't had before, and I don't know if that's a problematic worry. But shall we jump into it, guys?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right. So what inspired this conversation, we all kind of decided this is a good place to begin, is the Eternia's Choice options that Mattel has offered fans the opportunity to vote again on the next big Mattel Creations thing. So I have some slides here that we're just going to walk through some of these. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on these because every other YouTube channel has already talked about this stuff. But we've got you could vote on their version or the Origins version of the Fright Zone. If we want to offer complaints as we go along through here, feel free, guys.
Okay.
But the next slide I have here is in an earlier episode, we were talking about, man, if they do Fright Zone, can we please have a combination of, if it's going to be a Mattel Creations thing, it's got to be this big thing. Can we have a combination of the Slime Pit and the Fright Zone?
Do we know what won, or is it still the voting? I don't know. I haven't paid
No,
attention
they're
to it.
still voting right now.
Oh,
You
okay.
can still vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys vote?
Oh,
Yeah,
I voted
I voted.
for. I'll put it out there. I voted for Fright Zone and I voted for Snake's Lair.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can vote for 2?
Yeah,
can vote for
get
2.
your choice of 2 out of the, was it 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 of them.
Huh.
So
They never actually say if they're even going to do them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
In
they're not
music,
saying.
It's like they can get our opinions, but then
So-
we're at the mercy of, do they even give a crap what we want?
Right.
And they're only going to give us the ones that they're ready to give us, or whatever.
Thanos believes that the voting ended on the 10th, perhaps. So
Oh,
maybe
did
it is over.
let me go
Okay.
check. I'll pull it up.
So we're going to go through these real quick because we don't want to spend too much time on these.
Okay.
But I think we're all in agreement that it would have been a smart move to include a Slime Pit as part of this Fright Zone. I always combined them.
They're both small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's
I
also.
mean,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to come out and say it because as we're offering up complaints, this is bullshit.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it out there. So first off, the whole idea behind the fan vote is that we are fan voting on the next crowd-funded project.
Right.
Yeah. This is so small. It's
yeah. Top
this
tier
is
complaint.
So I said Mattel Creations. So subconsciously, I'm like, this should be a Mattel Creations release, not a crowd-funded project.
That's where they've done, Mattel Creations is where they did Eternia, and it's, where they were doing the Jurassic Park crowdfund recently that bombed. So, I mean, my issue here is, first off, they've already said that they were going to give us all of the vintage toy line on Mattel Creations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that means everything vintage will be released at Mattel Creations.
Right, which is this should be just part of the vintage line.
Right. This is not something we need to vote on.
Well, maybe the crowd. Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Well, and where the do you get crowdfunding for this? Because I mean, like, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm a little pissed off about it, and I know there's a lot of people out there with me. And I've said several times, let's not get too excited, but it does. It pisses me off because I don't care about the additional tooling they're doing here.
Yeah,
I really don't. I mean, I like it. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. But first off, it should not merit enough of a price tag that we're going to jack it up to need to be a crowd fund. They put a little smiley face on the trees. They added an extra trap door and a little breakaway wall and a fucking tree that we have no idea what the hell is going to happen with that little.
That's a reference. That's a reference
little
to original artwork, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the man-eating plant that was on the original concept for it. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
That's Audrey 3.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. It's all good. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I really do. That's not my gripe. My gripe is the fact that, again, this should not. Fright Zone is smaller than Castle Grayskull, and it is smaller than Snake Mountain. both of which retailed around $80.
Yeah.
And did not need to be crowdfunded to be made. So
what they're not telling you is that this is big enough for a human.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
Mine changed.
They didn't
just had the forklift drop it off in my backyard.
Yeah, exactly. It's for your backyard. No,
so
I mean,
when they mentioned that they're going to put out everything for vintage,
yeah,
do they mean everything or figures?
Yeah,
they specify that. Because I mean, you got like the Fright Fighter and all that other shit, Spydor. Those are bigger vehicles too. So
exactly, that's the other part that I have the complaint about now. So that very question, does this mean it's just going to be all the vintage figures are going to be released via Mattel Creations? Or do we have to worry about every single playset and vehicle that we had not got yet?
Right.
Well,
being locked behind a fan vote.
Well, those are the only two left.
Slime Pit and Fright Zone, yeah, they're the only two play sets left for regular Masters of the Universe.
Right.
Because they've been kind of very neglectful of Princess of Power.
Yeah,
so
I'm not thinking of that. I'm just
we don't have to add
regular
that.
Masters line. Yeah.
Right, regular Masters line. Those are the only two play sets left. But there is a lot of vehicles we haven't seen, which part of this fan vote. The attack track,
which is the Filmation version, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Adam sent a bunch of great pictures. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We'll go briefly through all of these, and then we can all share our thoughts.
See, if I voted, I would have voted for that.
So this is the Fright Zone, right? But they're calling it Doom Tower because otherwise they would have to rename the Fright Zone.
Right.
Right.
And this is incredible as a playset. Now I'm just going to say this. This is what fans have been wanting for a very long time.
Yes, that's why I said I would vote for that.
This is what fans have been wanting for a very long time. This is what fans have been wanting for a very long time.
Yep.
This fans got.
Yes.
Okay. This, I haven't had an urge to have this at all. This is entering into territory that I really don't care about as a kid who grew up with Masters of the Universe.
What is that? So, the Lady Slithers thing or something?
This is the snake layer.
Yeah, who cares about
from
that?
Classics.
To me, that's a concept of I can give two shits about that.
So, but that's okay. Like fans are going to be happy to get this, but fans are also. This is where I feel the problem is. They're putting these play sets against one another.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we be voting for?
I got you.
The Fright Zone against this. Like
because you want all of those. You want all of that.
Yeah, and why would this be part of that competition? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
And as Oz said, the Fright Zone is something that should be on Mattel Creations. But this is also going to be an $89 playset. How in the world are they going to what the only thing in here that can be crowdfunded that I see as an exciting crowdfunding project there are two things. This one,
yep,
and this one.
Yep, I agree with you.
I mean, this would be cool too, but I can see the size of the figure in comparison to this.
Well, Mega J pointed out something about the crawler on his stream. So the crawler comes directly from Filmation.
Right, exactly. So does this.
And
both of these are directly from Filmation.
And so is that other tower too.
Yeah.
That drawing of the command crawler, like nobody recently sketched that up. They literally pulled the art cell from Filmation and they were like, they cleaned up the lines. That's it. They did nothing else to this whatsoever. And Mega J pointed it out by putting them right on top of one another, and it's almost exact. So it's like they were just grabbing shit out of the ether to be like, all right, put it up for a fan vote.
So, I mean, honestly, I think the part that makes me the most angry is that fans really should get all of these.
Yes.
Fans should get every one of these. By the way, if the Fright Zone or the Doom Tower is going to be crowdfunded, project, it really should be at this size.
Look how big that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the size it should be if it's going to be crowdfunded. We see the size of the Eternia playset.
Yeah. I got to say, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that none of these seem fair as crowdfunded options. This would have made sense to me. Like if this had been in competition with this, that would have made sense as a crowdfunded vote.
And we've talked about that in the past. About this playset, about the Fright Zone being the big version of that. Being crowdfunded, because I know we did I don't want to bring up old stuff, but we've done podcasts about this exact thing before, and we mentioned these two playsets, this Eternia and then the Fright Zone. We understand that would be crowdfunded, so
they would have to be
because they're huge, right? Because it fits
Right.
the Eternia size.
Yes, it adds, it's that level of tooling, that level of, space. Like, this thing should be massive. The other thing should be massive. The Doom Tower that they show, at least those SketchUps for, to me, it's like adding a fourth tower to Eternia.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that's fine. But they better make sure that it adds on to Eternia. And I mean, like, this should be a very sizable playset in height, but it doesn't have a lot that I see going on for it as far as play features. Like, it does look like a bit of a slime wall. You got a tank in there that looks like it could hold a figure, which, that's pretty cool. But other than that, there's not a lot really going on here.
Well, what's that other sketch from? The one that you showed
like a
with
diorama.
all those figures.
This one?
What's that one from?
This
is that the same thing?
An artist's rendition of what this playset should look like.
Okay. So this is not. Oh, so this ain't the actual playset.
Neither is this. These are renditions.
I've seen that one before. I never saw the other one.
Yeah, it was the same guy did both of those.
I see.
I just remember his name right now.
Okay, so it's not going to be that big then.
No, it's going to be this big.
Not even going to be close.
Yeah, you can see the
throne. They don't even show you the dimensions, like how, like, why can't they do like
you kind of got to go
or something? Or
this is the only
that
one.
Would be nice,
you know what I mean?
Oh, these two are the only ones that show figures.
Right, so you can kind of scale it. Like, so this is going to be a massive vehicle because you can fit what should be the vintage toy style attack track in it, which again, they're putting away something that should just be released by Mattel Creations, the vintage attack track that you see riding out the back there.
Well, that's a possibility though. So you might get...
That's true.
So they'll have like maybe the vintage one separate, but they're showing you that you can put that one inside that one. I mean, who knows what they're doing? I don't know what their thoughts are.
It's a pretty cool thing. I keep seeing people posting sort of like the progression or the numbers. I don't know how they're retrieving them, but this one seems to be winning. And
a lot of that's because people are putting polls up, like, you know, you can take our poll and we're going to gather information and collect to see what people are voting
I used to do that on Twitter. I put polls up there and stuff.
It's cool. It's cool, but it looks like this one is winning, which is a little bit frustrating for me, because if this one is going to show up and this is not going to show up, I feel like this is something that if you're in your mid 40s, you wanted to see since the beginning. If you're a fan of She-Ra, this is something that you would have loved to have played with. This too. So it's just like, it irks me how they approach this, and it's hard for me to see what the outcome might be. It's different than the fan vote for action figures, because they're all the same thing. 4 different action figures. They're all the same size. How are you gonna crowdfund these things? So
if you could vote for 2, did they say they're only going to select 1?
That's what Adam Adam, were you saying that they haven't said if they're gonna, or was it Shawn? I can't remember.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna
Shawn,
say,
I think Shawn was saying.
I said that they didn't even put it out there if the winner even was the thing they're going to go with.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's more like this is us putting our opinion out into the void, and Mattel gets to know what we want, but then we might get something different or whatever. And I'm not saying bait and switch. It's just, I just get a feeling it's just to gauge interest more than anything. And the one thing I'll throw out there real quick that I do find funny about this whole voting thing with the choices is, how did the Horde get 2 when the heroic warriors get the attack track? At least the Snake Men now have a playset possibility, but the Horde now gets 2 options.
3 options.
3, because
you got Doom Tower, Fright Zone, and the Command Crawler.
So how is it that one of the most popular things you could have put on this list would have been the Collector, and nobody even...
that's
like,
absolutely perplexing.
Out of any vehicle Skeletor could have, I mean, we have the Roton, Land Shark, Spider, and things like that, but it's like the Collector is one of the most iconic evil, the villain vehicles from the cartoon, just like the attack track everybody's been wanting for how long.
That's my choice, though.
And they didn't even go there, but somehow the Horde rates 3 things.
Yeah.
Which
makes you wonder if they're really going to start pushing She-Ra stuff then.
I'd say that is a potential, but then it's like, here's a really good chance for them to do something that the fans would have just it would have been like the Beatles playing Ed Sullivan with them seeing the Collector there.
Maybe this is their way of teasing, since they're doing Filmation versions next year, that all the She-Ra stuff's gonna be the Filmation versions.
And who's to say that might not be in the pipeline eventually? But it would have been interesting to gauge the opinion, because I think the Collector and Attack Track probably would have ran away with the vote then.
Yeah,
maybe they'll do
definitely would have.
Oh, for sure, Collector.
Are we getting? We're getting into that, right, Scully?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I was like, I'm just making sure I have those pictures. I wasn't sure. I remembered that as we mentioned the Collector. Here we go. I'm just going to get
after seeing the boatload that got dumped into the chat today. I was just like, all right, I'm not going to worry about sending any, because we got a lot to go over.
Yeah. Sorry, I always overshare. I've always got like 20 images at any one time.
No, it's great. Yeah. You honestly
don't.
I sent 2.
Yeah, I'm
2 that I thought would make, because since we were talking about crowdfunding, I thought those 2 would be the crowdfunding.
They would make
options.
sense.
Yes,
right. I agree, because there's a lot of stuff that's left, and
Adam, I would have chose this Attack Track, but they already have it up there, so I would have had 3. So,
right. I mean, I'm a little floored with the idea of them putting up some things that are kind of blatantly within the vintage line after stating they were going to give us the vintage line. But again,
I understand exactly what you're saying. That makes sense to what you're saying. Why should you have to have a fan vote for that when you're supposed to be coming out with it anyway?
Right, right. You've already told us we're getting the vintage line. So originally I was like, cool, that means I'll get my Fright Zone. I love that playset. To me, it had the most play features, the most playability. Because again, up until this recent Snake Mountain, the Snake Mountain of vintage was kind of meh. It was more of a display piece than anything else. It didn't have a lot of play features. Had a wonky trapdoor, net that never caught anybody, and that was really about it. But you know
what's funny though? I bet you they're probably looking at that fan vote, and everybody's selecting the Fright Zone. They're probably laughing because they know they're going to put it out anyway, and they're like, "All right, so we know we can make this many now, and we'll sell."
But according to those individual surveys, most people are selecting.
A lot of people are selecting the snake layer.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, the big reason for that,
maybe because there's no Snake Men playset originally.
Right, there is no Snake Men playset. The Snake Mountain,
well,
but that's Skeletor's Snake Mountain. It's not.
And I think it was Masterversal Eldor that pointed out the holes on the new Snake Mountain playset that obviously could be you can attach the snake face and make it look like the original Snake Mountain.
Right. There are some holes. There's a lot of, like, on the inside, they have holes on top of that second floor that don't really go to anything. At first, when I saw them, I thought they were originally to help clip in the new jail cell. But that's apparently, I mean, Skelly, you got it. That's on like rails or something, right? It doesn't really clip in using those holes.
No, it has. The holes are there for other things that we don't know what they're for. And then someone posted on Instagram somewhere.
It was Eldor that they had the holes in the front.
Eldor posted an image of the card art of what Snake Mountain looked like prior to Skeletor taking it over and giving us My Pet Monster or Alf on the front.
Yeah, don't forget Night Stalker too, though. Night Stalker should be able to connect to that.
And but this is all on the front as opposed to the bottom.
Yeah.
And so it's and on the inside too. So these holes are mysterious. My thing is like, why not have the snake layer be what it was in the lore? It's Snake Mountain, but a previous version of Snake Mountain, correct?
So mentioning about the Night Stalker thing, this is actually something that I wanted to bring up. And Skelly, since you have your Snake Mountain, does it sit flat or is it raised? You know how Castle Grayskull is raised? There's space under the floor.
So you can slide some.
Oh, that's a good question. No, I think it sits flat.
Right. It sits flat because it's got that flap that comes down on the one side so that the acid pit pool kind of extends out further.
Yeah.
So where the hell are you putting that Night Stalker thing in if they're going to use the same method?
I don't know.
Like, you know, because on Castle Grayskull, they made the one kind of like notch a little bit smaller so you could slide it under the floor of your Castle Grayskull where it's raised. But Snake Mountain lays flat. So if they go by that same kind of design, it's going to be elevated and not really match the floor of Snake Mountain.
Maybe it connects somehow a different way then. Who knows?
I might be mistaken. There is a little bit of a lip, but I don't. I'll have to bring it down to look to see if there's an area that is open where we could put that.
I'll look when eventually mine comes in. I'll definitely remember to look because that's something I've been curious about, but I haven't seen anybody like really show that off.
Yeah,
but it's because it's something that hasn't come out that we haven't really thought about much about. But it is something that I started thinking about because I was like, wait a minute. I'm excited. I like all those little extra terrain pieces that they've kind of released with stuff. And I'd really like, to see some add-ons to Snake Mountain because it deserved so much more. Such a cool looking exterior that I want, more for the interior. So they finally give us more to the interior, but I like adding stuff on.
So Pup Actor's asking for clarification. There's I can't remember which action figure it is from Origins. There's a rendition of Snake Mountain in the background. Maybe it's Moss Man. Rendition of Snake Mountain in the background that is supposed to be Snake Mountain in its original form. And there's a snake face where the Alf or the Muppet head or the My Pet Monster head normally is. And the snake face is over that. And so Eldor pointed out that maybe these little slots on the front of the new Snake Mountain are where you insert that. They could potentially like release like add-ons
like
to Snake Mountain.
Grayskull,
Pat
kind of deal. It's been teased on a couple of card backs. It's not on Mossman because I just actually picked him up and looked.
Okay, I can't remember which one.
I think it might be on Fangor.
Maybe,
But it's been teased on a couple of them where they show basically, that old, actually CamoCon. I do believe it was on CamoCon.
Oh, here we go. Eldor saying.
Thank
CamoCon.
you. There we go.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff on that thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and
so I'd like to see that, and that's kind of the same snake face that we're getting on that snake layer playset. So
I mean, to me, it's like going back to this. Like, I just don't. It doesn't quite make sense to me. Nothing about this quite feels real.
Yeah,
it doesn't quite feel real. This whole vote thing doesn't quite feel like Mattel might just be trying to gauge our interest in something.
That's what I was saying about the Fright Zone.
Right. Now,
But, you know,
my question, like, so what happens to like the number 3 and number 4 runners up? Are those just gone
right?
for good?
Does that mean they just go away? We don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
They'll come back next time and we'll try it again. And if you don't win like 3 or 4 votes in a row, fuck you, you're not coming out.
Right.
Now,
I mean, but the truth is, at the end of the day, we do want all of this kind of stuff to come out. You know?
Conversely,
if
this is what they added into the fan vote, I would have had a hard time not going for this, because this is that original design that ended up turning into Snake Mountain,
right?
For a place like for the jungle play set, and that would have been a really cool deep cut, and just like I feel like this is kind of a deep cut, and this especially is a deep cut in a way, because not everybody's thinking of that as a toy.
I don't think anybody expected them to be like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and do the command crawler, because again, there's 2 things that we've really never even seen kind of pushed. And that would be the snake layer, because again, it was strictly a concept that Axel had drawn up for classics kind of thing. And then that command crawler, like, that was definitely the oddball. Nobody thought, like, I don't think anybody was asking for a command crawler.
No.
Like, nobody was asking for this. We were asking
I know when I think I did I don't know if it was the Power of Eternity or it was the Collectors of Power podcast where I was talking about these vehicles, and I mentioned the one, I forgot the name of it. It's the Horde. It's Hordax. What is it called? Destroyer or Destructor? I can't remember the name of it, but it's a bigger ship with his face on it. So I mentioned that one, but I didn't mention the tank. But I mentioned, because it was bigger than this. But I mentioned that one. I don't remember the name of it though.
Well, I'm gonna just take a moment and offer some appreciation to Bobby bringing this up. The collector, this looks like a genuine crowdfund project, especially if they stick to the size. And Shawn, you brought it up too, I think. The look at that door. The door size, if they were to actually give us this at the appropriate scale,
it'd be huge.
It would be huge.
Yeah.
That would match up with this potentially being a crowdfund project, and this potentially being a crowdfund project. All these things make sense as crowdfund projects.
Right.
Yeah, to me, the collector, if you want the most iconic vehicle that Filmation invented, that's the collector.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can all agree we would lose our minds if they announced this.
Well, I've brought that up. I even mentioned that to Mattel on Twitter, and I sent them this photo. I sent this and the Basher, which I sent both for this show, and I said we need these in Origins. And stuff. So and that was like 3 or 4 years ago I did that.
I mean, if they give us the collector at the size of the Talon Fighter, that's just not gonna. That ain't gonna be right. That ain't.
You need to fit at least a few figures in that.
You gotta fit 4 figures in.
Yeah. Yep. At least.
Yeah.
That would be the best way to go. I mean, honestly, that is kind of the one problem with the 5.5 6-inch scale, is that it's hard to design something reasonably sized that you can fit multiple figures in. Like, in order to fit multiple figures, they've got to be either stacked really tightly on top of one another, or it's got to be huge. And I mean, at least with a 6-inch line, it's like you can get a lot of these like kind of one-man vehicles. It's why with like Classified, they do a lot of like the motorcycles.
Yeah.
But, you know, as far as doing something bigger than that, we saw what they had to do. They went to, you know, the HasLab projects where you've got the HISS tanks. So now you have more room for more operators that can, you know, go with the vehicle. And again, that makes sense.
And how much was that
for
his tank?
crowdfunded. 300.
Okay.
And it's pretty sizable too. Fully electronic. So, like, I hope Mattel was taking notes because that also funded and fully backed in a day.
That's crazy.
And it did take a little while for the extra tiers to be hit, but most of the tiers were hit within that first weekend.
Wow.
This will be This has got to be a fully electronic.
Yeah,
It needs to be.
Well, the original one was too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this would definitely be something where, again, we are talking
It needs to talk.
multiple figures. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. That would be
Yeah.
great.
Some
Kit
phrases
style.
from the show.
Yeah, yeah. They should get the Filmation voices out of there or something.
Yep. Definitely.
Some of the sound bites.
But I like this as a crowdfund project. It makes sense. It's big. It should have electronics. It makes sense. And something of this scale, fully electronic, I can see being a couple $100 price tag.
Oh, this is definitely, yeah.
But there's no way I see a Fright Zone, which again is a smaller scale playset, and I'm talking original Fright Zone, not Doom Tower.
Yeah.
I'm talking Fright Zone here. Like, even if you added Slime Pit to this, it may add up to cost of Snake Mountain or
150
Castle
maybe?
Grayskull.
If you
I wouldn't even say that much.
Well, if you put both together.
I would still say like $80. Like, again, a Snake Mountain or a Castle Grayskull together.
Well, I mean, really, if you think about it, because I'm picturing it in my head how I had it set up in my house. The Fright Zone really isn't that small. It looks small, but it's really not that small.
I mean, it's not
it's
the height.
wide.
Right. It is a little wide. It's that corner piece, you know, where the other ones kind of wrap out. It wraps in, so it has like kind of a depth to it that the other two don't have.
It's a decent size. Yeah, it looks small, but it's not really small.
Right.
An aspect of me too, Allison. An aspect of Eternia that we never really got a play set of is the wilderness, and in the Filmation cartoon, they're out there in the elements all the time.
Yeah.
They spend more time out there than they do here at Eterno's Palace. So to take this idea and combine it with the Fright Zone and give us like a wilderness terrain where you have the two different areas of Eternia that are the jungle and then like the rocky area, and include that together, combine these two, that would make sense as a crowdfund project.
You could do that and then include some of those I forget the name, but the rock creatures from
the rock
Filmation.
people.
So just some background creatures, maybe some of those snake bat things.
yeah, for sure.
And if they did like the Eternals, they should come out with that John the Baker guy or whoever his name was.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got to be a playset exclusive, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Only way you get him and Molar, because they need a dentist.
No, him and Malaktha.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We definitely.
Well, Malaktha needs to come out separate.
People
he is so overdue.
You get him. You tell him Malaktha comes with it, and that thing will go through the roof because everybody wants a Malaktha.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they did come out with that figure, I probably would get. That's why I'm waiting to see what Origins is coming out with, but I'm more interested in other characters, not redos of the same characters again.
Yeah, it might be a while before
I want like Koldar's, like that type of figure.
Yeah,
I want those type of guys.
So Allison is asking here, are we sure they are all going to be crowdfunds? So the exact wording from the day one of the post, I gotta go back on Masters and find that. But the exact wording that they used was, "You have the power to shape the next Masters of the Universe crowdfund project.
Yeah, that's what I thought it said.
Tune in Tuesday, September 5th to learn how to cast your vote for our next made-to-order large-scale Masters Universe item." And see, that's the other thing about it too. Again, they do say large scale, but how big?
How big?
You know, maybe Fright Zone's going to be bigger than we think. Because here's another thing that I'm thinking about with this. I'm still thinking of that dino, that little snake hand puppet thing right there.
Yep.
I'm thinking about that on the scale of a hand of a child, because that's what it was when we had it. My hand's pretty fucking big now, so if that's going to be on scale for an adult, it's going to be like twice the size it was as a kid.
This thing has got to be big.
Yeah.
To be a crowdfund.
I will say, if it is big, then it could be a winner, just because Classics fans could use it for their Classics board figures.
And that's the other thing. They've been upscaling everything a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Upscaling and downscaling.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know, it's like the Point Dread Talon Fighter is a perfect example of this. You've got this upscaled Talon Fighter and a downscaled
Point Dread.
Point Dread.
Point Dread, thank you, God. Point Dread. Man.
Time for the medicine.
I know, time for the where are my pills?
You need that walk around the desk real quick.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing that's perplexing. It's you can't we can't tell how big this is by looking at it. And it doesn't look much bigger than this.
That's why I said they should with that art that they're showing you, they should have put in the scale on it.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, they for sure.
It would have been a lot.
I gotta say, I'm kind of a sucker for the tree that they did on there. Just the Halloween face, the jack-o'-lantern face on it.
Sells it a little bit more to me.
I dig it. Yeah,
it just needs to have red apples so we can throw it at Tin Man.
Yes,
there we go. There we go. I also like that they put that rock monster in versus just this rock opens up.
Yeah. And it potentially, and man, if they make that rock monster articulated, that really adds a nice aspect.
It's going to be like the next Modi.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is so. You know, speaking of opportunities. This could be a rock monster, a rock creature that could come out of the floor and be its own action figure. But they don't show that here. They just show this thing comes out of the ground.
So what are they going to do? Call him Ozzy?
Ozzy. That's right.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Boy, another one.
There we go. I heard my name, so I looked up. I mean, I like that we're getting a little more detail on the back and side here. Like you see these little vines in the back and everything, kind of reminiscent of like how they added vines to, Snake Mountain there. So hopefully we can get some kind of thing going on the inside. But again, I still think our original idea stands, where I wish they would add some kind of modularity. You can connect the slime pit to this in some way.
So we don't even know what the back looks like then, right?
No, they didn't show off the only picture of a back.
It's empty. There's like nothing there. So
right. You got these exploding walls over here, and that's it.
I just don't see any of these as crowdfund projects. But you know,
I do the attack track because that's going to be big.
Yeah, I guess so. Both of these, you see how big they are next to action figures. I could see how those might be.
Well, if you look at the attack track, that's going to have at least two figures, right, for the front. But then you're going to have that big ass original attack track that fits inside.
Yeah.
Put the actual.
So if
mystery
that's
machine
if they're gonna make that vehicle the same size as the vintage,
Yeah,
that's
you're
gonna be
right.
that thing is gonna be huge.
So what's
I
your?
think.
What's
That's why I
your-
said they should give you the scale of the sizes of what these are gonna look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
know.
closest thing we really get to scale is the two vehicles.
Yeah, I mean you can only assume. They
Mhm.
can give you a
Yeah.
small little attack track that's the big as the original jet sled.
This is what we.
You know
want.
what I mean? You just don't know.
Yeah. For that attack track, it's like if you get that, then I think they've got a sale right after that. Shadow Beast, Filmation, King Randor, and Prince
Yeah.
Adam, just to recreate that scene where they get kidnapped out of the
Oh
attack
yeah,
track.
yeah.
I would really, really love to see them get into like the beasts and Grenemir, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Granomir would be great.
So Adam, being the archivist that he is, he sent over a bunch of photos of things that we should get, and I'm just going to say it. And apologies to anybody that's excited about the snake layer. Every single one of these photos that Adam sent over is something that I would have preferred to see over a snake layer playset. I'm just saying it. That's my feelings. This doesn't resonate with me at all.
No, me either.
Um,
It is amazing though how like playsets were really not. No one really cares so much about playsets, but now they do again.
I love that they do now.
Because
Yeah.
there's
It's
been
great.
a drought of playsets.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
we were kids growing up, playsets were a dime a dozen. Like everybody had
Right.
them.
Mhm.
And that's why a lot of kids didn't always get them because either you did get them as like one big gift for like your birthday or Christmas, but they took up a lot of space, so you couldn't really get a whole lot. And now it's like they want to dump play sets, and I'm
Mhm.
okay with that. Like I love the play sets. I love having those. That's one of the reasons I loved Imagine Next so much was because play
Mhm.
sets.
Yeah, that's some great playsets. Now, some of these, granted, are figures. They're not large
Yeah.
scale, obviously, but they were just in my grab bag of stuff I want to see.
Right.
These are
I
all
agree
things.
with you.
So
all
everything.
These are all things that we would love to see as old school fans of this
Yes,
franchise.
Well, this would be another great 2-pack right here, even
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, come on,
Like
this would be amazing.
Yeah, it's a
Blonde
no-brainer.
Battleground Tila, and
Mhm.
like
Golden
that's a 2-pack
Sea.
we need, and that's a great way to sell me on another Tila figure.
Mhm.
And as well as I get the horse. Like if you're going to keep selling me variants, at least sell it with something else that I want.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious with that fan vote thing. Why, since they're coming out with all that Snake Men, and then they teased a lot of stuff on that CamoCon card, why didn't they bring out the big dinosaur
Yeah.
playset?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I
kind
included some
of,
dinosaurs here too.
yeah. And these were like the early concepts of it, not
Yeah.
even that
Yeah.
prototype that they showed off in the one sales catalog, right?
Look at how awesome Mossman
Yeah.
is up on the top of that.
Right?
I love it.
Rocking that gun like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck nature. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get on
he's-
this gun and blast the shit out of
That's
you.
right. I actually like this better than Gigantosaur. This is
Yeah.
Turbosaurus. I feel like it's got a lot more character. It's got these ridges and stuff popping out of it. It looks cooler.
Yeah, you come
Yeah.
out his ass.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right.
Dude, when this
That's what
Dino
Mossman is
shits,
laughing about
E-Man
right
rolls
now.
out.
Yeah. And this is
It's another
look at
version
that.
of it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I do like this because it's like it's like an actual base.
Yeah.
I mean, this in front of this. Oops.
Yeah, there you
Like
go.
amazing.
Yeah.
Did I accidentally close out Shawn or did he pop out?
Oh, did
Oh,
we lose
no.
Shawn?
I hope I didn't
Didn't
close
see.
out Shawn.
No,
Oh,
he's
there he
back.
is.
He's
Okay.
back.
I thought I accidentally booted you out, Shawn.
Nobody
I
kicks
think
Shawn out of Toy Frenzy. He gets right back.
Something happened, but I'm back. I don't know.
Okay.
Nobody puts Shawn in a corner.
Nobody's
was-
put Shawn in the
that's
corner
right, I was-
like a baby.
So
I was frantically clicking to get back to that thing. Maybe I accidentally.
if we
nudged
go
you.
back to that dude with the chariot real quick.
The dude.
Well, He-Man on top of that chariot, like it's just his torso as they show kind of sitting
Yeah,
in there.
Mhm.
So This to me screams that 2000X battle ram chariot kind of thing that Skeletor
it
had.
does.
Yep.
And they did renew that copyright. I do want to put that out there.
That's
But
true.
wasn't that on the list of that Masterverse figure too?
Yes, it was the battle chariot.
Yeah.
So this is very well something we may see, maybe not in this exact form, but some kind of chariot is coming. Now, some people have speculated that what they meant by chariot was kind of like the other half of the battle ram, being the fact that it is kind of like a chariot to the.
Well, that's what I thought it was originally too. Was the battle ram thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I can actually hear this picture because that to me sounds like it would be like the battle ram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way the plastic is.
Yep.
There's like an early version of He-Man in the Power Sword mini comic that has this vehicle in it before they swapped it out for the vehicles we actually got.
Nice.
I mean, this would be great to have.
Yeah.
These characters would be great to have.
I'd love to see, the Mummy was one that I always wanted to see with the Horde. Because as I've said before, even when we had the Halloween episode last year about the Horde, just like they are the universal monsters to me of the Masters of the Universe. They definitely have all the elements. And this is one that we were missing.
Yeah.
And I want him in my new stuff. Like, I need to have this guy.
And of course, he should glow in the dark.
Yes, he needs to glow in the dark. That glow in the dark mummy monster from Ghostbusters was one of my favorite as a kid. He was so dopey looking. I want a Masters of the Universe one. That's what I need.
Yeah, and this one is actually made it to the mini comics. That's what Man at Arms. I think Allison just mentioned this.
Yes,
right.
He comes in riding on that with a cape.
So cool.
Yeah, it's another.
Oh, I should have sent you the Ball Crusher.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like the what's it called? The Bashosaurus, but the Spike Ore version.
Yep.
Right.
I forgot about that. I was thinking more bigger scale, though. I guess
this is probably, I don't know. Maybe they're thinking like, okay, we did this guy in Masterverse, but I would take an Origins version of this guy.
I was gonna say, why shouldn't we get a Origins version? I mean, they've done the spear with the Ultimate Warrior figure, so re-release the spear and give us some new trunks. That's all you need.
This is Shawn's He-Man right here.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's Shawn's weekend outfit.
Spear and everything.
That's me going to the door to get the mail and waving at the mailman, actually.
With the spear.
With the spear. If he doesn't bring me toys, then I throw the spear at him. So yeah.
I can see. This is
back here with my paper.
Meddling kids.
Here's a complaint for you all. I don't think that the Masterverse version of Savage He-Man comes even close to this.
No.
Not enough.
Not even close, especially not close to how he looked in Revelation.
Wow.
He was the Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. He looked like the Hulk. He should have been like
he was
twice
bigger,
the size.
more roided out.
Yeah. He needed to be the size of that classics Shadow Beast is what he needed to be.
Yeah, something on that scale. Like, they give us that Savage He-Man in Masterverse, and then like you look at the body on Skele.vad, and it's a bigger, beefier figure. Now, when they went toe-to-toe in Revelations, I'm sorry, like that He-Man was bulkier, he was definitely Hulk proportionate.
Should have been this big.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what it should look like.
We got about a regular He-Man scaled version, but it was supposed to be like, well, if Adam decided to transform without the conduit, he would be this big roided out beastly version, and we just kind of got lackluster. Maybe they'll remake it on like the on more that Beastman Origins buck. That would be pretty cool. Like, you know, I mean, I understand.
I doubt they'll revisit it.
Yeah.
Nah, they probably won't.
I guess they won't. They probably won't. This is the Masks of Power Demons. I've wanted those forever.
Yeah,
in some format, any scale, I'll take them.
Boojaboo get you there with his
Mosquito there too.
The Boojaboo has done some 3D printed parts so that you could take a Origins Whiplash and an Origins Lords of Power Beastman and create these, you know, the two Masks of Power baddies.
Yeah.
Cool. And when you buy his kit, you also get their non-transformed version.
Yeah.
Which I also thought was really cool too. That
the little tiny versions.
Yeah, the little like wimpy versions before they put on the masks.
And these, I mean, of course. Oh, you know, and this original version of Skeletor shows up in the mini comic for the Skeleton Warriors. So there's a chance we could get him.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'll point out he's not an original version of Skeletor. That was a mistake they made in the classics era.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm remembering that too. But I'm blanking out on what they named him for classics.
Demo Man.
Called him
Demo
Demo Man to pay homage to the original name for Skeletor being D-Man.
Yeah, that's
right. But
right.
again, Adam's right. This is not what that character was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't care though. I love the design. I'll take whatever they want. Whatever they want to tell me he is, I'll take the figure. Yeah. I've got the classics version too.
He's so good, and I love that we did get.
This is how you get that Alcala head for Skeletor, because that was a bonus head, as well as that little skull, the half skull. It's in the concept art.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I've got that, and I've got a printout of the art on my wall too. That's how much I like the design.
That's awesome.
And who doesn't want to see Fearless Photog?
Oh yeah.
Poor kid won a freaking contest, and it took 30 years to get his figure made.
But it's good for him too, though, in a way, because people are still talking about that.
Yeah.
If it did get made, he wouldn't be being talked about. So
perhaps, yeah.
These ones would be, for me, some of the most exciting. I don't have. I kind of remember these from the magazine, but I just think they're really cool designs, like especially the rattlesnake.
Right, I really dig that. Now, Blast Hawk did come out. It did get a retail.
He did come. Yeah, that did come out, but the other three did not.
Yeah, and
I own one of those Blast Hawks.
Yeah, and it was a cool vehicle as well.
Yeah,
you know, the fact that bottom detaches, and that came out around the same time as Eternia did.
Yep. Yeah,
I like that Batwing thing with antenna.
Yeah, I like that. It was like a bigger version of the backpack that was supposed to come out with Grayskull.
So this is the type of contest that would make more sense to me. As you can see here, create a vehicle. Down here in the bottom, it says, now it's your turn. Grab a pencil and create a vehicle of your own design. You know, that this type of create a vehicle or create a character contest that they did back in the day would be a really brilliant thing to do now.
Yes.
That the fans are older, instead of saying choose one of these, maybe just allow fans to try their hand at creating something. That's how you really honor the legacy of Masters of the Universe.
One thing that I like, I know Mr. Home Arcade, you know, good friend of the channel, he just recently made the upscaler himself. And
yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah.
It looks so close to that exact design that we're looking at right there. I do hope to see something like that. I wish it would go into production.
Now look at what the upscaler is on. It's on Hexastacks right there.
It is.
There you
It is. Speaking of which, we're no longer hashtag back the stack. It is now hashtag get stacked. His website is up for everybody who hasn't checked it out yet. Hexastack.com. That website is now live. So hashtag get stacked, everybody.
Oh,
And
stacked?
yeah, get stacked and go check out his website now. You know, even though he may not be doing the Kickstarter anymore, it is moving forward. And he just sent me a little bit of a sneak peek of some more stuff. Every once in a while, he keeps sending me
Here.
You know, these little tidbits of like what he's working on and what he's got coming up. And I gotta tell you, I am really, really excited for some of the stuff that he's been working on with those. So, you know, I mean, Upscaler comes with Hexastacks. Travis, that's going to happen. You got to do it now. Put it on the website.
Mike Fee is mentioning that that Mr. Home Arcade got the upscaler off of Etsy.
He got it off of Etsy. I thought he made it himself because he's always making stuff.
That's cool. All right, then we've got more goodies.
Yeah, like the Gyro Attacker. That'd be a great one because it was advertised. It was in mini comics. We didn't get it originally. That seems like an ideal one to go with.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, all these figures would be great to see too. That the witch lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's been teased too.
Yeah.
So my understanding, the warrior woman on the unicorn is actually an early version of She-Ra when she was with the boys department before the girls department came in and said, no, you guys can't do She-Ra, we're doing it. So that's my understanding what that is.
That's cool. And then we're back to the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
And this, of course, right? This is beautiful.
Always one of my favorites.
I like that one. Yeah,
and it's been teased already on a box. So.
It has. Yep, I'd love to see that one.
And an original version of the Wind Raider would be really cool.
Yeah, I just love the one with the big dragon head. I don't know. There might be like 5 of us who really care, but I just love it.
It's so Norse looking with
I was gonna say it makes it more like a boat.
Viking.
Yeah, it looks more like a boat.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need more Eternian pirates. Just saying. Give me a whole pirate ship play set. I'd be down for it.
And all the Filmation pirates.
Yep. Yeah, because they had several episodes where they had to see stuff with, pirates and all. And, especially when we got into She-Ra too. So bring them on, people. Let's get that stuff. Make
Skyhawk.
it. Yes.
I'm gonna just say, like, all the action figures that Adam sent over in these images, every single one of these could potentially and should potentially be an add-on figure to any crowdfund that Mattel goes with. This would be an amazing add-on figure if they would do this.
Yeah,
I would love to see this. And then again, we already know from classics that if they make this, then hopefully we can expect the Shadow Beast as well.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did. They reused the buck for the Shadow Beast. So I'm all for it. Give us more.
Give us more.
We want giants.
I honestly think this would be worth it as a crowdfund.
Prototype
Grayskull.
That's what I was hoping for when Origins was announced. Back, I was like, okay, do this, and they did. They did the figures from this series, but never this castle. Yeah.
What I thought was funny is I think we were all kind of in the same boat where we all wanted the more misshapen and organic looking Castle Grayskull with the weird angles.
It's beautiful.
And instead they managed to give us a more uniform and symmetrical Castle
Watered
Grayskull.
down. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Origins.
The Origins one is the
Grayskull.
the worst in my opinion out of all the ones they've made to date. It's
100%.
so opposite of what the intention was.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that I have it because I have a Grayskull again. I like that it was affordable. I appreciate all of that. Don't get me wrong. I love that. I love that they have added on to it. But there's still so much in aesthetic that I find it lacking.
Yep.
And I still can't get over how the hell Mattel fucked up Point Dread.
I just think the color is ugly too.
Well, I want to say Mattel, Point Dread, it's really beautiful to look at.
Yes.
It's really beautiful to look at. It's a really great, thing sitting here, but and the Talon Fighter is gorgeous. Mattel, you did a great job with the Talon Fighter revision, but the size just gets my goat. I don't know. Understand? You're making your play sets for reaction figures now, and we got to be thinking about that. So I'm gonna I really love that Adam included this again because we've seen this a lot on this show, but I'm glad we're looking at it again because New Eternia Castle Grayskull following this design would be an incredible crowdfund project. Yeah. Especially if it was if it was the size or close to the size of Shawn's Classics Grayskull that's right behind him, made for Masterverse figures, made for the New Eternia line, looking like this. That would be a crowdfund project I would get excited about.
That would definitely get funded too.
Yeah.
They could almost take, because the Classics Grayskull does take a lot of cues. Not 100%, but like 80% maybe. Yeah. They could literally just take the mold and then do it in a more vibrant color like this with these more dramatic color.
The more those lime greens and those blue hues in certain sections, like I'm sorry, that just speaks to me. I love it. And then as you get down to the ground more, you got more of that yellow look around the rock. It's a gorgeous looking thing. I love it.
And give us that face, every there it is. Oh man, making us jealous.
Yeah,
that face is. I'm gonna open you up here.
I was gonna say let's blow him up. Give him the full screen because that just deserves it.
It's awesome.
Dear God,
that's how you do,
man.
Imagine, okay, so this is it would be cool to have the Classics Grayskull for Masterverse, but I don't want that. I want this in Masterverse scale. I want this exact, just that we're Mattel. This is what we're looking at here. This is what you got to give us. I love the face on this design of Grayskull more than any other face.
The hardest part to me, though, and it's a reality I've kind of settled into since I've gotten older, is the stuff that I loved, the way that it, like this, and the version Adam just shown and stuff, never going to happen, in my opinion. I wish it could. I wish it could, but I honestly, there's something with the way they want to handle the property where they aren't interested. Like New Eternia is the closest they've gotten to doing something where it's like, let's get out of the box for a little bit. But it's more, we got 1 foot out of the box instead of let's go over to the other sand pit and see what they're doing over there and do something different. And I feel like that intellectual idea of how Grayskull looks to everyone, it's either shaped by the original toy or Filmation. So this is very much you and me, Skelly, going, that would be a holy grail of what you want on your shelf. But to everybody else, they'd look at it and go, why does Grayskull look so funky? Like they'd automatically just discount that as, well, somebody was asleep when they were sculpting that thing. And they don't know the history of what that means to us, though, and why that should be that way.
In a way, you're absolutely right. But also, if you look closely, I mean, you don't have to look closely, but if you look at the Filmation Grayskull, that thing looks like it was a piece of clay that somebody threw, across and against the wall. It looks like it's a mess. I mean, it's wonky. Its proportions are weird. It's got legs. It's terrifying. It's got a spine. I would be if they could release something that if it's a new Eternia Grayskull, they could take some Filmation, they could take this design, and they could mash it up and give us a wonky Grayskull that's to scale for 7-inch figures. That would make us, I think that would make us all happy. Even it would make the people who love Filmation and would make the weirdos like you and me, Shawn, and everybody here that would love to see this Mark Taylor Grayskull.
Well, I think that they're also just too afraid to take chances with it.
Yes, it's exactly what Shawn was saying. They have got one foot in the box and one foot out of the box. And what made the line so successful at the very beginning stages was that both feet were out of the box. This is a line.
They were trying everything.
Well, what you were saying earlier about the draw vehicle contest or something, never going to happen, in my opinion. Because as of right now, they know what the fans are locked in that they want because they had it either as a kid or it's been on the cartoon. To all of a sudden have, here's a new thing that somebody like. That's why the Axel snake layer thing meant nothing to me when I saw it. I looked at that and I go, I don't even need that. And honestly, I'm not getting any of the ones in the vote. I just voted on the ones that I'm like, I think as a fan that would be fun. But like when you start introducing characters, like I know the with classics when they had like the Sir Laser Lot and some of this figure, people are like, what the hell are you doing? This is not what I want out of this line. And when you start introducing more creativity to a line that already has a lot of creativity, and there is that nostalgia connection to that creativity, it's automatically they're going to go, we're not doing anything like that because it's not going to be something people want. They're just going to want what they had. And that is another reason, real quick, another complaint, and then I've circled to the whole thing. It's another reason I don't like Origins, for the fact that it is just giving you what you had, just a little bit bells and whistles, but they didn't worry about doing something that could make it revolutionary again. They gave you what you already have with a little bit of extra. And when the minute I saw them, I'm like, it's nostalgic. I get that. It hits in the feels. But even if I wasn't collecting classics or 2000X previously, I'd look at that and go, oh, that's nice. It's basically they're doing that because people expect that. That isn't what I want anymore at all in that way. And that it's like that sealed the deal to me on what Mattel sees this as. Like, yes, we have the Masterverse, but I just Origins is kind of the one that they seem the most like, okay, this is working. We're going to keep using this. Playsets are for Origins, vehicles are for Origins, and all that for the most part. So it bums me out that we can't escape the nostalgia with this line, like Transformers is able to somehow, Ghostbusters somewhat, Ninja Turtles and all that. I mean, the new Ninja Turtle movie blew the roof off the joint, doing something different at least.
Yeah.
And here we are, we're still back at here's Origins. And it's like, well, okay.
So just to chime in here a bit with that, that's part of the problem and yet the passion that we have for this, right? So much of the fan base loves what we had, to the point where they literally sent in death threats to Kevin Smith for taking a different road.
Yeah,
he tried to do something different.
Don't give us a bad name.
Death threats.
And it's like it's really frustrating,
here's
right?
The thing, though, right? We're all sitting here saying that they should take this new. We want something new. Everybody on this panel but me shit on the Snakes Layer. which is new. So
hey, I did. I guess I did. Yeah.
You did. Yeah,
I know,
everybody
I did.
said, I don't give a damn about the Snake Slayer. I want this.
But I'm saying for a crowdfunding thing.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But even then, the Snake Slayer to me as a crowdfund's more worth it than a Fright Zone that should be cheaper than a Snake Slayer.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is as much as we all want the nostalgia, we have mentioned, Shawn, I know you agree with that, and Skelly too, that it has to be allowed to change and evolve and break new ground if we want it to stick around. If we all stick within the comfortable realm of what we had as a child, it will eventually just fall back to the wayside. So even though, yes, we all want what we had, you already have what you had. And Bobby heralds that championship amazingly with that dedication to the vintage.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I wanted to bring something up in that chat real quick. I want to show this from Allison. She says that the vintage hasn't physically aged well. I have to say I disagree on a part where and I hate saying this because I don't want to sound like I'm arrogant about it, but my collection of vintage figures, they're almost all perfect. They're I would say 99% perfect. I have all the everything. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them at all. The paint's perfect. The legs are perfect. You just need to take time picking out the ones that you want.
Yeah.
The people can go and say, well, I need all these figures, and they go and buy all these cheap ones, bring them all in so they can have them all, but you're going to have some bad ones in there, loose legs or whatever. If you take your time, you will be able to get a piece it's spot on perfect, because they are out there. And I just want to say that.
Yep.
And
I've spent years. I started collecting them back in 1992. And I finished them up, I don't know, a few years ago, the more expensive ones. But it took me a long time to put all of my figures and get all the play sets, all the vehicles, everything is perfect. But it took me time. And that's what you need, is just time. But you will find, if I sold mine right now, I'd probably make top dollar on everything I have, because they're so good.
And I think, I agree. And I think what Allison is probably reacting to is the fact that if you want to start collecting these, and let's say you don't have the time to go out there and shop for and search for those pristine vintage figures, most of the time you're going to go and you're going to find one with a head that's too soft, or the paint's fallen off, or the legs are not, they're too wobbly.
Exactly.
And Origins is like an easy fix.
It is
to get something that will last you a long time, will always look new on the shelf. But so I understand that, but I also
but what I wanted to say though is that there are good pieces out there.
Yes.
If you really, really wanted to get vintage, there are out there.
And my vintage Grayskull right here is a perfect example of that. Yeah. Every time I'd look for a vintage Grayskull, it would be, if I wanted the cardboard pieces that go on the inside, it was insanely priced. And then just one day, I got lucky and I found it for this crazy good deal.
You can. That's the thing too. If you're patient, I saw something online that was like $100 and something for like a year. And then some guy put it up there. It was $20. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. And I was like, I grabbed it. I was like, I can't believe I got it for $20 and everybody's selling it for $100. It's just, and it's in perfect condition too. That's the thing.
Every once in a while, you do get really lucky with that, because again, and sadly, in a lot of cases where you tend to get those good deals, or like estate sales, somebody's passed away and they have all this stuff and the family doesn't know what it is exactly, and they're just getting rid of it. And that's where you will find those really great deals for things like that. So keep your eyes peeled, folks.
Yep.
Like when I used to use eBay, I would sit there and I would skip over all the the listings that had less than 5 pictures.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I have to pick the perfect one out. So I need photos of everything, backside, bottom, up and down, to judge how good it is. When you get like one, front and the back photo that you can't tell if the figure's in good condition or not.
Right.
But that's just me, because I'm a stickler when it comes to vintage toys and how perfect they are. Because to me, they have to be perfect. But that's just a thing I have.
Bobby,
Eric,
don't do repro.
Eric, the website from Toy Ploy, Fix the Legs. Yeah, it is a great way to save money. I just want to say, you can get these.
He bands.
You can get these, and they really work. I've fixed some of my vintage figures with these, and it takes a while to get them stuffed in there, but you're absolutely right, Eric.
Some wire.
Yeah, I got some like a little screwdriver and this little tweezer tool, and it works. And so I want to just respond a little bit to. I'm just going to remove this for just a little bit. Respond to Shawn and to Oz, because two things stand out from the big complaints tonight. So first, Shawn, you're absolutely right about Origins. They'll never be like the vintage. They'll never reach that quality of uniqueness where both feet are out of the box, and you can feel it with Origins. It's like they're safe. They're safe versions of the characters.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like having newer versions with brighter colors of the vintage figures that I love makes me very happy. And a Mantenna with 4 legs makes me very happy. And a Moss Man with better flocking makes me very happy. Sure. The rest of the stuff it's true. It's mediocre, but it's like scratching that itch. But Oz, the reason why I think all of us are reacting so negatively to the snake layer, it's not that we don't want to see the line go in an adventurous direction. It's that there are so many things that have yet to be addressed from the vintage line, and also, it's like it's an $89 playset. Like, of course they should release it. It's going to be affordable for people. It shouldn't be a crowdfund thing.
No, and I agree with that. Like I said,
the only reason why I think the only reason why I think that playset would be a crowdfund, because it's new and there might not be a lot of interest in it.
It's all new tooling.
You know what I mean?
Again. Yeah. And we all know that tooling does cost a lot. And that's where you're kind of looking at a portion of how much it could cost.
Yeah.
With Snake Mountain, with Castle Grayskull, although there is some new tooling, there was a basis for it to begin with.
Yeah.
With that snake layer, that's 100% new tooling. With the Doom Tower, it's 100% new tooling. With the Fright Zone, it's modified retooling.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what Shawn said earlier, and like what I said earlier. They could be using this just to guide to see what the interest is.
So.
It's gonna definitely be the guide for the interest. That is the most important part. No, they didn't announce it yet. We're just discussing our gripes over the idea of the possibility, the complaints overall about this crowd, the fan choice way to go.
Yeah.
Can I just address? So you mentioned Oz. I think like we all are a little bit backwards looking, or a lot backwards looking. So we're very nostalgia driven, but we're driven by nostalgia for different things. Like this Castle Grayskull we were looking at, our connection with that is the mini comics, because that's where it first showed up.
Yeah.
I do think there's Mattel has tried to do new things. I'd say it's a mixed success. I think if I'm open to new things, but I think what they need to do is they need to get some designers with more of a vision.
Mhm.
Like the Four Horsemen in the past, like 2000X had a specific vision. They were all familiar, but they were all new too. There was something new about all of them. Some of them turned out better than others. Like if you look at the original prototypes, all of them are much better than the actual toys. But I think they, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, they did really well in partnering with a really creative group like the Four Horsemen. Um, they've used the Four Horsemen for a lot of Origins too, but I think it's more just like they get their orders, like it has to look like vintage, so it's not it's not like their creativity is coming into it.
No, and in some cases it's even downscaling stuff that they had already done, like the Keldor head, like the Leech head. It's like those are original Four Horsemen sculpts. They've just had them do a retooling to make a smaller version of it so that it's Origin scaled. They're more like consultants at this point than actually like really working on the line.
Yeah, and I think to do something new, you get somebody like them, or I don't care, some other really talented group of artists, and let them run wild. Don't hamstring them or tie their hands behind their back.
That's the hardest part with this.
But that is what would get me back. Like Mondo is that group right now.
Yeah.
They are literally bringing out, here's He-Man, but he's not going to be identical to the Mattel He-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to give him some new details. We're going to make little things to make it ours, but he's still going to have that He-Man. But that is so much more as a 40-something collector. What I need versus I don't want to buy an Origins figure that looks like something I owned when I was 5, because I already had that. That's the thing that is mind-blowing to me about it. It's like when 2000X came out and I saw those initial photos in Toy Fair, I was like, these things look like they're going to be $100 a pop. I'm never going to afford them. All of a sudden, they're everywhere. And it was like freaking Christmas for me to get these figures that represented these characters I loved growing up, but here's this whole new way I can look at them. And that was the same with classics. It's like they aren't identical. There's definitely some things to make them their own way. And so it's like I'd rather look at what classics did and go, well, what's the next step you could do from classics with the articulation? And like I know Masterverse is doing some of that. I am not a fan still of what they did, though. Like, I can't put my finger on that one either, but I feel like there is a way to make it into something that an adult collector, but also a kid might be interested in. Like, you could give, I mean, they have the Playmates version of the Ninja Turtles, but then NECA has the Ninja Turtles figures.
Right.
That's kind of what this feels like to me, is like Origins is the one you can safely give to your kids, but then Mondo's out there, but then Mondo's really expensive. So what's the other option out there? You know, that's kind of where I'm literally like, I wouldn't say Mondo is my home for Masters, but I look to them and what they're doing with it and going, that's way more what I want to see out of a line than anything Mattel is putting out in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me kind of sad at this point. The people who brought this to me as a kid can't figure out how to crack the code to make me buy it, but this other company is able to pull it off with these huge figures, with these details, and making them look unique at least.
A big part of that.
Well, I was going to say too, I'm sorry, Oz, but with the Origins thing though, you have, it's not new, but to people that want the vintage line, just like kind of like what Allison said earlier, if they can't go back and afford that, they can get the Origins, and I've seen that, and I've heard that from tons of people saying, I'm glad I can finally get these figures in an affordable way. So we've all had them as kids. Some of them, I didn't have a lot when I was kids, but I went out and got all the vintage. People are not going to always be like me, but they can see that instead of spending $50 for a Spike Ore, they're going to get him for $14, as an Origins figure instead. And that's where the Origins comes in. Yeah, it's nostalgic, and people are buying it for nostalgia as well. Like, that's when I was getting it, because of nostalgia. But you also have people that just can't. Not everybody's situation is the same. So if you got someone who can't afford things, but they can afford Origins, that's great. And compared to going out and trying to find a good vintage, that's different. So everybody's got different ideas on that. It's not like our progression of collecting is like, I've been collecting this for so long, now I need a better figure. Some people are just, now they're starting Origins. Since Origins came out, that's brought in people that haven't collected in a long time, finally collecting again, so they're like, oh, I'm going to start with these. This is brand new, I'm going to start with this, and I could get everything until Duplico came out. But that's I mean, that's what my opinion would be on the Origins thing, would be that.
I mean, that's true. That's what really brought me back into it, was getting Origins. And again, I've mentioned it several times. Connor and I, like, Connor showed interest in the idea of the toys, and there's no way I could afford the vintage ones. And then I'd be too worried about brittle plastic and all like that, because again, I'm not looking at it as a collection piece at that point. I'm looking at it as something that I can share and play with my son with.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a friend like that too, Bob. He bought it he kept buying figures for him, but they were for him with his kids, and they're and his kids are only like 4 and 6, and they're playing with those toys like crazy. Not every kid are going to get them, but I mean, like, if my son was really little, I would be buying him these, and we'd be playing with them.
Because honestly, I'd be afraid to really play with the vintage ones.
Oh, I wouldn't play with
it. No, I wouldn't either. Because,
Bobby, I know you spend time collecting like perfect ones, but if you give it the wear and tear that a kid's going to give it while they play, it's not going to last long, because plastic.
I had original ones from when I was a kid that are all messed up, so we played with those. But I wouldn't, not like when I consider the vintage, I'm talking collectible vintage.
Exactly. You're very specific.
You take it, you put it over there, and you don't touch it.
It stays there, and it looks beautiful, and it's great, and it can stand on its own. It doesn't need, it's not falling over because of a loose leg band. And so you get these Origins because it is, again, an affordable option compared to vintage.
And I understand what Shawn's saying. He wants something that's more, but there's other people who collect that don't really care too much about that. They just want, stuff like that too.
And it is all about perspective. But there is that part of me that it comes back to. Masters is always that line that I feel like never had the chance to do something new with it, other than new adventures. And they did 2000X. Well, that only lasted a couple years, and boom, it was off the radar. And it's like they assume now it's got to go vintage, or else that's it. And it's like, no,
I understand that too.
It's like, for me, it's like, I love the line, I love the brand, but it's so frustrating that's all that I can have at a 40-something collector here, going like, I literally would love to have something that's done in a different way than what we've always had. It just feels like, it's a greatest hit package with Masters every time, and it's like, can we do something?
Well, that's just like the Filmation line that's coming out now for Origins. It's going right back to Skeletor, Beastman. It's the same thing over.
It's lather, rinse, repeat.
And they did it with classics. They had the Club Grayskull line come out because they ran out of the main core figures, and then what I was told at one point, whether it was the case or not, was once the Filmation one went its way, 2000X was going to be the next classics one they wanted to do, because they already had hints of that in the line.
Yeah, they did.
And it's like, well, shit, here I go. I missed the boat on that because it didn't get that far and the line ended.
Well, that's what always frustrates me about collecting new stuff. Is because you get it, you're full going on. I'm going to grab all this stuff, and then it's like, well, it just ran out of steam, and they're not making nothing. Now you feel like, well, I started collecting, because that's why with the Masterverse going with the new adventures, the Skeletor and Slushhead, I'm like, I want to get those so I could get all of the mutants. But who the hell's saying that they're going to come out with all the mutants?
We don't know if they're coming out with a vlog.
So that's why I'm not buying them. But I couldn't get a Skeletor anyway, because all the targets out here don't have them. They don't,
Well,
they don't stock He-Man no more.
One thing too that that I have an aversion to the Snake Men, and part of that aversion is that they mark the end. They marked the end. As things come to a close with Masters of the Universe, guess who's ushering in that close? The Snake Men. So I feel like I'm worried about people. I'm worried about people glomming onto it because I don't. My like PTSD in me is like, that's going to be the end of it, you guys. So
then here's my advice.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Oh, thanks.
Because guess when they're going to cut it off?
Yeah.
The moment they're not making money
then they
off
should
of
be
it.
thinking more creatively then, because some of us aren't going to be interested in that stuff.
I totally get that statement.
Well, and look at me, how diehard I am on collecting that stuff. I haven't collected any of this stuff for this whole year. It's now we're in September. I have not bought a Masters of the Universe figure this year.
And
what were you going to say, Shawn?
No, ultimately going to kill the line.
I'm right there with you because like I was going back on eBay and collecting the 2000X stuff and really getting into that. And then I also at the same time I was catching the cartoon because I had no idea that the cartoon had ended and all this stuff. So I was rewatching that. And then once you get to the Snake Men, that's the end of the show. And I was like, fuck the Snake Men. Like,
exactly. Exactly.
Levels because I'm like, they made them better on that show. I actually appreciated them on that show.
Yeah, they
There's
did.
way more story they could have been talking about than the damn Snake Man half the time.
I used to come home from work early to watch that cartoon when it was on.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know that they ended it. And I was waiting for the new season to come on and it never came. I was like, what the hell? Where did it go?
Here's the thing. We've gotten to the point now where the majority of shared tooling is done.
Yeah.
It's all unique tooling from here on out.
Yep.
And that's where the line died initially too.
Yeah.
They had years and years and years of using a lot of shared parts.
Plus the characters weren't as strong.
And they used all of those.
Sucked.
Yes.
It's just a complete. You notice a pattern here?
I'm frustrated with where's Too Bad and where's Modulock. Like it doesn't make. That's the big frustration.
Those toolings are locked right now. So, they're still working on it. We've seen parts, at least of Modulock. We are seeing parts, but it's gradual as they add more to the line.
Yeah.
And that's why they're going to Mattel Creations too.
That's right, because then they don't have to meet, as big of a minimum order quantity to put it through, which also may mean we may start expecting a heftier price point from here on out for a lot of figures, like $40 for a Moss.
And that's going to kill people. Who's going to want that?
Because nobody's going to want it.
Right.
People have been craving Rio Blast.
Yeah.
I know quite a few people in the chat want it. That is a lot of individual tooling. Drag Store. That is almost 100% new tool from the ground up. And really, except for a couple of concept figures that we did get in classics, like Terror and Lord Grasp. Again, I know you guys are talking about Snake Men symbolizing the end of the line. Those figures are 100% retool. So it's easy for them to get money.
So Terror and Lord Grasp, I'm actually interested in. The only two that those would be cool. Those would be cool to
reusing old parts.
There's something about them that, and it could
they're
just
goofy
be that.
as hell.
Yeah, they're goofy as hell.
I like Strobo. I'm waiting for Strobo.
Oh yeah, Strobo. Yeah,
which we can get now because we already know we're getting a Stratos. Or I'm sorry, I said Stratos. We're getting a Cyclone. Which after he's released, all of the parts are done, so Strobos can come out. So like we can get a lot of these characters in the upcoming line, and it's completely reused, parts. And again, even figures like, friggin' Rattlehood here and Gorgon. Like you guys, even if these aren't your cup of tea, this is 100% reuse. 100% reuse.
Well, the thing that got me with classics at least was they had the 2-pack of the Snake Men, just the army builders. Those were the ones I wanted more than any other Snake Men because of the versatility, and they didn't have to be locked into what the figures were. And what kills me too is Lady Slither just coming out reminds me of how that was a figure. If they had her in Classics, I would have absolutely got her, because the other thing is the amount of female characters to male, and having her be a force to be reckoned with as one of the leaders within the factions they have for Masters was freaking cool. And then it's like, you know, here it is. It didn't work out in Classics. And like I said, I'm glad it's out there for the people that want it for Origins and all that. But there is that part of me where I'm just like, the frustration will always be there no matter what, because something ends that I love, but then something else happens. And it's like, it's not what I love, but it's happening for other people then.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because like I've said, you know, a lot of people, especially in the chat, are saying they're so tired of Snake Men right now. I'm actually really excited. We are getting more Snake Men. It is definitely my favorite faction. So I'm excited that we're getting a lot. And I'm going to buy as many of them as they'll release.
Yeah,
like,
and that's
we keep
good
getting
that
snakes.
it's good that there are a lot of you out there, because that'll help. That'll help the line continue. I do want to say, as we come to a close, that I think we can all agree on the big complaint, the main complaint, if we're still in the complaint department, and that is, where is our battle ram?
Number one.
Number
Absolute
one
number
complaint, Mattel.
It still blows my mind.
Give us a battle ram in, at this point, it could be Masterverse, it could be Origins, it could be, we don't want to see this in Mondo because that'd be $1,000, but give us a battle ram.
Mondo is doing the front half.
I noticed that. That's insane.
Honestly,
at
this point, give us the vintage version.
Yes,
like, I don't even need the modern jet sled to attach to a battle ram.
I agree.
Give me this smaller, more compact version that fits into the rest of it, just so I can have the damn thing.
Yeah, I mean it, Mattel. This is something something that the fans really would love to have.
You can always go out and get a vintage.
And I got one back here, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Nice thing about Battle Ram Vintage is it's not that expensive. You can check them out
really
for decent money.
Yeah,
even like complete with stickers, it's still not a bad price.
I think they made them for like, I think all the way up till 85. So
there's tons of them out there.
The one that I had as a kid was brand new, and I was born in 85, so that was like what, a year or two later that I was getting these.
Yep.
Mine's haunted, by the way. I have to have the missile. I have to have the missile resting in the hole. If I cock it, if I put it in there and I have
that is common. Yeah.
In the middle of the night, it'll go, "What's that sound?"
Well, the reason I put this
rolling around your house.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be okay with that. The reason I put this one on is this is me being so anal retentive and fixated. I want this specific prototype, which most people aren't even like, oh, it's a battle ram, whatever. But like all the little tiny details, that's just me. I'm sure any battle ram would be good.
But yeah, absolutely. Why not? Like, if they're going to release battle ram, give us some of these prototype details. Look at the missile. It's a big difference.
The gun on the front.
The gun on the front.
Totally different style. Yeah. Honestly, like the gun on the vintage one is kind of wimpy at this point, and I don't. It's not necessarily because I'm comparing it to the new one, because I even remember thinking as a kid, like, it's got this one little gun. This rocket launcher on the back is epic, or something like that. So I'm glad on the new one we got a much better gun on the front. Like, it feels like that thing could do some damage. But even that looks like they just duct taped the paintball gun onto the front of this thing. I was glad we got the vintage, what we did with vintage, because it's definitely better than that.
Yeah. So I'm glad you included this, Adam, in your slides, because that's a good place to end too.
Yes,
I think so. That's the biggest complaint.
There's no battle ram, but this is a great conversation, guys.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Holy moly!
I like it when we're more open and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I prefer us closed.
Well, you know, I don't mind
Bobby.
leaving the door cracked halfway for you guys, but
Well,
we'll leave all the shit for Tits McGee next week. We'll
yeah,
give them
that's
that.
right.
yeah, it's McGee handles that.
I gotta rewatch that movie now.
Everybody go watch Anchorman. You have homework for next week.
Yeah. So, guys, what do you have coming up for you? Anything exciting that people should know about?
Okay. So, you know, Saturday, be another Saturday night hangout this week. Gonna unbox some stuff. Actually, I think I'm finally running out of stuff to unbox after all the mail calls. Well, no, hopefully I get Lady Slither. Yeah, she should be coming. Cool. And I know there's a couple other things that should be on the way. So hopefully those will, you know, get here soon. Still anxiously and eagerly awaiting word of Snake Mountain because I know people been getting those from BBTS now. So that's coming. I did decide on some new upcoming short form content for those of you who may not be able to sit and watch a 5 to 6 hour live long stream on a Saturday night.
I'm guilty of that.
Hey, no, it's okay, guys. I don't expect everybody to sit there. I'm amazed when people sit there for the whole thing. Yeah. And so glad that I actually have, you know, several people in the chat who hang out the entire time with me, not just in the chat, but live too. Yeah, Thanos, you are a champ for sitting with me week after week for 6 hours. Yeah. Several new faces popping up these days, which is always good to have.
And Thanos just launched a new video on his channel, YouTube channel, folks. So go over there and subscribe to Thanos's channel.
That's right. Go check out at Thanoscopter, or at the Thanoscopter on YouTube, so you can find him. And he's definitely starting to put a retrospective together for his work, and it's good to actually see that. But
yeah, it's awesome.
Keep your eyes peeled. I will have some new video shorts coming up very soon.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
Also, all of this behind me is going to change very, very soon. I'm going to be rearranging the whole layout. Desk isn't going to be sitting over where it is anymore. It's going to be a completely different.
That's so much fun. I love that. I love that about being a collector, is rearranging stuff. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I just want to say, everyone, Legends of Grayskull podcast is getting really close to 1,000 subscribers. Over there on their YouTube channel. They are very, very close. And we want to see them hit that marker and surpass it very soon here, because they've been working their heinies off trying to get subscribers over there on the YouTube channel. Plus, it's fun to watch them, you know, talk. If you like watching us talk, go over and watch Shawn and Matt talk over there too. I often am listening to them on the podcast, in the podcast universe. But every once in a while, if I want to add a little frosting to the cake, I'll go over there and rewatch the visual version. So you get both, right? So go on over there.
And we just did our most recent episode came out last week.
Yes.
And I think next week we'll be doing a new one. And I don't know. I think we have the topic figured out, but I'll have to check and see if I'm right about that. So I'm not gonna put any more out there than that. But I will say, if you watch the new episode, there is something in our intro that has been upgraded and changed, and that is something that it's a long time coming, and it's way overdue. And I know Matt has been patient beyond belief with me to get that finally done.
Yeah, go check that out. It's
check
gorgeous.
it out. Yep, and then hit like and subscribe while you do it. There you go.
That's right. Bobby, Adam, how about you guys?
Go ahead, Adam.
I posted in the chat. I just did an article about Flying Fist Seaman. So that's in the chat, and then up next, look for one on Mantisaur.
Nice, that's great. Bobby, how about you?
Yeah, I finally cleaned myself of the vintage Motu tag. Everything that I have now is it's wiped. It's now going to be Bobby Dangerously or punk rock CDs. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram on both of those accounts. I got the link tree and all that stuff on my thing too. I'm a little tired. I apologize, but I just wanted to say that I finally I've been wanting to do that for a few years. Get rid of that. I wanted like a real name for myself, not a tag or something like that. So I finally got rid of that. But yeah, and I wanted to mention the Duchess's channel is getting close to 1,000 as well.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And she's updated her channel to have playlists as well, so it's easier to access other things on there. So go check that out as well.
That's all. That's awesome. Yeah, go over there, folks, and click like and subscribe on Duchess of Darkness.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't really have anything exciting coming up. I got a weekly weirdo this Sunday.
Exciting.
That'll be fun. And I've got an idea of where I'm headed with that. I do want to say, folks, if you're interested in trying to figure out who the weekly weirdo is every week, have a close look at the thumbnail when I post it. I usually post it on Fridays or Saturdays, and there's usually some cryptic hint as to what the weirdo is going to be for that week. So I would love to see more people trying to guess. Don't be afraid. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. Like it's all in good fun.
True story.
True story. And what else? We're going to be recording a new episode of Cambridge and with Shawn, so that there'll be an episode during the first week of October that's going to be launched. And if you want, and it's going to be a good one too. It's October, so that should give you a hint of some things that might be in there.
Nice.
And
Boo buckets coming soon.
And and you know, if you're interested in hearing those things free of ads and ahead of time, consider becoming a patron down below. But definitely have a look at those patron options down below, folks. They're really great. Everybody has something to offer, as you heard in Bud's intro today. But more importantly, thank you all so much for being here and watching every week. We really appreciate you all.
Yes, we do.
It's an amazing group. I'm just astounded every week at how special the people in the chat are.
Thank you guys.
We've got stuff coming up too, some special guests on the horizon. Next week, Adam, do you want to talk about our special guest for next week?
That's next week already. Jeez.
Next week we've got Ben Massa. So if you're on Facebook, he runs a group called Orko's Keep. He has just the most amazing, obscure, like vintage Motu board games and foreign comics and all kinds of crazy stuff that he gets from all over the world, and he does really nice scans of them and puts them up for everybody to see. So he'll be bringing up a lot of his images and some things to show on camera. So that should be really fun next week. So tune in on next Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be good. We're really looking forward to that. I think tonight let's do something a little bit different to end the show. What do you think? Should we have a little music to end the show?
Sure.
Oz, what do you think?
I think so. You ready to go ahead and put it up there?
Shawn?
Let's do it.
All right, here.
Let's do it.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Here we go.
I dig the coolness, man. The coolness.
Yeah, daddy.
Jazz music.
This droid has a broken motivator.
It sends me, man. It sends me. The coolness, cat.
Oh, wait, we're still going?